Hey, Sarah, are you ready?
I'm a lady.
And welcome to iDOL Days, the show about idol animes. I'm Star.
And I'm Sarah.
And today, you already know what episode this is. We talked about it on the last one. It's boy time.
Boy time.
Sarah, it's boy time.
It's boys' night.
It's boys' night out.
Boys' night out.
I didn't think up a good intro for this episode, but we're talking about Idolmaster again.
Whoa.
Specifically, Idolmaster SideM. It's Idolmaster, but with dudes instead.
Boy.
It's like so Idolmaster has many franchises. I think there's like 5 or 6 of them now at this point. And so this one was just like, what if we do the same, but we do it with dudes?
The boys.
This is the only one, technically, that has boys in it. Technically.
Yes.
It's complicated. If you listen, I gave my Dearly Stars rant 2 times in previous Idolmaster episodes, and I'm gonna do it again in this one. But so this is the Guydolmaster, basically.
The Guydolmaster. Tell me about Guydolmaster, Star.
I'm gonna tell you about Guydolmaster. So, like we said, it's basically, it's the concept runs parallel to every other Idolmaster anime. It's the story of a bunch of idols, and they're trying to be good at idling, and that is the plot. So this one, it started, like a lot of Idolmaster franchises, it started as a mobile game.
Mm-hmm.
So it was first released in 2014 as a, idol growth simulator card game collection gacha thing. The anime came out in 2017, and then they got a new mobile game that has, like, 3D dance performances, which is kind of the status quo these days. That came out in 2018.
Yes, I remember it was recent-ish.
Yeah, it was very recent. I've heard almost nothing about it. This franchise does not get the love that the other Idolmaster franchises do, which is, like, I was indifferent to it first, but then after watching the anime, I'm like, oh, but they're good boys, though.
They are good boys, though.
They're good boys, though. So, Sarah, what's your history with SideM? Because I know that you said you've watched the anime before.
Yeah, I watched the anime. Actually, I watched it simulcast. So,
Ooh.
like, week by week, I didn't binge it. So there are probably things I do not remember because I had the, weeks in between each episode.
Well, I shall have to refresh your memory then.
Woohoo, let's do it.
Indeed. My history with the show is, I liked original Idolmaster. I liked the other franchises that had come out. I watched the Cinderella Girls anime when it came out, which we'll talk about that one in a future episode. I definitely want to do Cinderella Girls.
Mm-hmm.
But SideM came out before I had my guydol awakening, because listen, freaking Idolish 7 was the gateway drug, and now like Idolish 7 was the gateway drug to me actually caring about idol dudes, and so now I'm like, okay, whomster these boys? But by that point, we were already doing the podcast, so I was like, okay, I'll just save it for whenever we do an episode about this for the podcast. And then we just, like, kept doing other shows, and there were ones with higher priority that I wanted to cover first. And so literally, like, since we started the podcast, I'm like, I want to do SideM, I want to do SideM, I want to do SideM, I want to finally watch it. And now, like, 9 months later, I finally watched it.
It's like a baby. 9 months into the podcast, you have birthed the SideM episode.
I don't care for that mental image, actually. Surprisingly, I do not. How dare you assault my ears with this, Sarah? You laugh. I am extremely uncomfortable. I
am pleased by your discomfort.
No, Sarah, you can't. Yeah, so actually, now that I think about it, that's not entirely true. The thing about me not watching the show, not the thing about your pregnancy thing. I'm still very uncomfortable with that metaphor.
It's yours, Star.
No,
your SideM baby.
Orphanage. Bam.
Oh no!
Give those kids some tragic backstory. Get out of here.
Tragic backstory time.
No. So, I discovered this. I had completely forgotten about this and then rediscovered it as I was watching the series. So this series it's 13 episodes and then an episode 0, which is like a prologue of sorts, to kind of bridge the divide between the original Idolmaster and Guydol time. because some of the main characters in this show are Jupiter, the 3 rival guydol boys from the original Idolmaster anime.
Yeah.
And so they have their own episode. It's like episode 0, episode of Jupiter. That's like, this is how these boys got wrapped up in these shenanigans. And then they introduce the rest of the characters.
Yes. It's like our gateway because they're the familiar characters.
Basically, yeah. They are the person in the alley. Or there's like a person in the alleyway who's like holding up like pretty watches, like, hey kid, you want to buy a watch? But instead it's like, hey kid, you want to get into an idol franchise? And they're just like holding out the Jupiter boys.
Yes.
Hey kid, you want to try some idols?
Try some guydolls.
Hey kid, look at these boys. These are some quality boys, yeah? I like how skeevy alleyway merchant has become a recurring character on this podcast.
Yes. He's, maybe he's the ultimate producer.
Oh, uh-oh. Oh no, we're giving him lore.
I know, we are. He has
Sarah,
backstory now.
We can't give these original characters lore. We already have too many that we don't do anything with.
True.
We already have our crab idols. Oh my god, he's the producer for the crab idols.
Absolutely is the producer for the crab idols.
Oh no, Idol
asked.
Days podcast lore.
Or like company president, maybe.
Yeah, I think because we already had an idea for a producer character.
Yeah. No, he owns the organization.
That seems legit. I enjoy this. Now I have to draw them. All right. Well, anyway, so what I was gonna say is so the Jupiter boys have their prologue, and I had forgotten about it completely, but I did watch the prologue episode, I think, after it came out, and then just didn't keep watching.
Oh no!
Not for lack of, well, it was probably just for lack of interest, but also for lack of time. This is when I was living in Japan, and I watched the least anime that I've ever watched while I was living in Japan, ironically.
Right, because it was hard for you to stream, right?
Yeah, it was like I had to open up the VPN anytime I wanted to watch something because like you couldn't get Crunchyroll overseas, and it was a pain in my butt. So I watched like 3 shows in the 2 years I was there.
That makes sense.
Yeah. But yeah, so I did watch the first episode of this from a Jupiter Boys and then didn't finish watching it. But now I've watched all of it, and I'm gonna tell you guys about it because it's good. I liked it. So one more thing. Sarah, there's so many characters.
There's so many.
There's so many boys, and I love all of them. I want to put them in a basket, but I would argue that there is too many.
There
because
are a lot.
I had trouble remembering their names. I feel like 15 is my upper echelon of number of boys I can remember in a 13 episode anime. 14 technically.
Yep.
I feel like if you have more characters than number of episodes, there is a problem.
Yes, especially when they're all supposed to be important people.
Yeah, and this is a 14 episode series with 19 idols.
So many.
So some of them are gonna get shafted a little bit, and that's disappointing to me personally, because I'm like, oh, but who are you, though? Anyway, so, also, I'll go ahead and say this now, there's like 40-something characters in the actual SideM franchise, and a lot of I don't think all of them do, but a lot of characters who are not main characters in the anime show up as, like, cameos, and they'll get, like, 1 or 2 lines of dialogue.
Yeah, it's kind of how Cinderella Girls handled it, too, if I remember right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's very similar. The formula is basically the same. But I'm going to talk about the characters as they get introduced. So before I talk about the prologue episode, I will introduce Jupiter, and then I will introduce the rest of them as we meet them. Because otherwise I feel like it would be too overwhelming.
Too many boys at once.
Too many boys. But yeah, so our first episode is episode 0, the Jupiter episode. So I'm going to talk about the Jupiter boys real quick. If you've watched Original Idolmaster, you know who these punks are. There's 3 of them. There's lead boy, Toma. He's got, like, anime choppy brown hair. He's got a big ol' hoge on top of his head. He's kind of, like, grouchy, he doesn't do emotions well leader type person.
He's angry.
He's very much like, he's an angry boy. But it comes across it like he's not like legit angry. He just has trouble talking, and he's not good at saying words in a nice way. Mm-hmm. And so then there is Shota, and he is the short, spunky green boy. Mm-hmm. He's got like a headband, and he can do backflips, which is important to the narrative.
Definitely. The forbidden technique.
I'm the forbidden technique. I wrote that in my notes that I was going to make that joke later because he does do a backflip in the show. Okay. But yes, he does the forbidden technique. The forbidden technique! But yeah, so his personality, he's just kind of like the short, spunky, yay type. But he's also a little bit snarky. He teases Toma a lot. And then the last one is Hokuto. He is blonde. He's kind of like the charming, I wouldn't necessarily, would you call him a playboy? I'm not sure.
I don't know.
He feels like a watered down playboy. Yeah. He's very flirty, but he's not like
He's not like Nagi.
Yeah. He's like a watered down Nagi almost. Mm-hmm. He winks a lot, and he looks like Ignis from Final Fantasy 15 but 10 years younger.
You're right, baby Ignis.
He's baby Ignis, Sarah. Oh. I realized that as I was watching the show. I'm like, hold the fuck up. Who does he look like?
It's Ignis.
He looks like baby Ignis.
I'm so pleased.
So if you've ever played Final Fantasy 15, just imagine this.
I've come up with a new recipe. It's baby Ignis.
Oh. Oh. And he sings and dances. Look at him go.
Aww.
Look at my son. I've come up with a new recipe. It's my son. He's an idol. Look at him go. And the other guys are just like, Ignis, where'd you get that? And he just shrugs. I don't know. But he's my son now. I'm taking him everywhere with me. Mm-hmm. Anyway, so, episode of Jupiter, the prologue episode, episode 0. So it opens on Jupiter has a handful of songs, and it starts with one of their edgier ones, which is called Alice or Guilty. This is one of the 2 Jupiter songs I know because it was in one of the video games.
It's such an edgy name.
Yeah, it is. It's like, I can't remember how it goes. It's like, da, da, ba, da, 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 da. It's cool. This is the song wherein in the video game there is choreography where Shota does a backflip.
Whoa, the forbidden technique.
Yeah, the forbidden technique. It's very edgy, and then it kind of switches over from a big concert venue to a little concert venue, and you realize that it has been a year since the origin story of these boys. If you will remember from the original Idolmaster, they quit their old production company because their old producer was a bitch potato.
He kidnapped a child.
Yes. Indirectly, he did kidnap a child. That is the thing that happened. Yeah, so they were like, we don't like our old producer because he
kidnaps
did several
children.
crimes. He kidnaps children. He did several crimes. And also he's just a potato face. So we're leaving.
Yeet.
And so this is where we find them now. They've been just kind of going indie now because they still have a lot of fans. But they're like, we don't want to sign on with a new company. We just want to do our own thing for a while. And because of this, they get harassed by company producers constantly who are like, hey, Jupiter, you want to sign on with our agency? Hey, Jupiter, you want to sign on with our agency? And they just say no to them every single time. And Toma's like, they just want to talk about money. It's stupid. We don't like them. Get out of here.
Who needs
It's
money?
to the point where they're like literally chasing people out of their dressing room before performances.
Poor Jupiter. Too popular.
Too good for their own good, apparently. But at some point, they go back to their dressing room, and a mystery man whose face we never see appears.
Oh.
And this is a new president has appeared. This is Saito. He is the president of 315 Productions, which is, of course, pronounced Psycho Productions.
What?
Psycho! I believe, based on inference, that translates to the best in Japanese or something along those lines.
I mean, if it does, that sounds like a great place to be.
Yep. So it's 315, but we're gonna call it Psycho Pro from now on. That's the production agency.
Psycho Pro.
Yeah. Oh no.
A production agency with a dangerous twist.
Yeah, and they have like they get really serious about their business cards.
Super serious about their business cards. Is that laminated?
Oh my god. That paper stock, though. I haven't actually seen that movie. I've only seen that scene.
Oh, that's incredible.
Because they showed it to us in a class once.
It's also a great movie. Nothing to do with idols.
It has nothing to do with idols, but everything to do with American Psycho Pro. That's the rival agency.
Oh,
or
yes.
the sister company, depending on whose point of view. And so the company president he's super duper loud. He's got this big fucking smile on all the time. He's like, "Hi, I'm the company president, and I want to recruit you. You guys are really passionate. Join my production agency." And Toma's like, "No." And they chase him out.
Yeet.
And we see kind of a montage of them, like, going around, and they're, like, doing radio shows and concerts. They're setting up for a concert. And in the background, you just keep seeing this same company president and his big doofy grin just in the background, like, all the time. He's just always there. And the boys are like, "Why does he keep following us around? He's so creepy."
It's the business cards. He's just really excited about them.
He's like, "Take my business card." And they're like, "No!" Well, I guess we can't joke about that because that's the plot of Cinderella Girls, which we still have to do an episode on.
It's true. That's American Psycho Pro.
Oh no! Okay. So the boys apparently have a lot of gigs coming up. Despite the fact that they are not represented by an agency, which is cool for them, but unfortunately it means that they are getting very overwhelmed because they basically do everything by themselves. Mm-hmm. So at some point we cut to an interview. The three boys are getting interviewed, and we get a little bit more on their backstory. Toma was scouted. Hokuto was apparently a model first, which, yeah, that tracks with his personality. And
Mm-hmm.
then he got scouted by that. And then Shota's younger sister, his older sister sent in his resume without his permission. And then I guess when he got accepted, he's like, "Yeah, okay, sure, I'll do this."
Whoa.
And then we get kind of a recap with what happened with their last agency, just in case you haven't seen the original Idolmaster anime for a while.
Idolaster.
I keep saying it like
it's
that.
It's my favorite.
No, you can't. It's not allowed. And then they have another concert scene. They have to chase more producers out of their dressing room, but then Saito is there again, the new president.
Oh,
and
smile
he's like,
boy.
Yeah, he can teleport. He trained under the Love Live idol, so he knows how to teleport.
The forbidden technique.
the other forbidden technique.
The other one. The forbidden technique.
Whoa! Tier 2 forbidden technique. And he's like, "Hey, so what you guys are doing is cool and all, but you're being naive if you think that this is good for you." And he points out that there's a lot of fans who, like, aren't able to get concert tickets because the venue is so small, and because they keep waiting outside after the concerts, it's causing trouble for the venue because they can't get this gaggle of girls to leave. And it's like they're filling the entire alleyway outside the venue, and so I understand how this would cause them problems.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So the next day, the boys are at, like, a TV agency or something, and they bump into Haruka Idolmaster.
Whoa, usually Haruka's the one bumping into them.
Yeah, well, technically they bump into each other.
Oh, that's fair.
I don't remember exactly. But if you have listened to our last episode, this is exactly the same scene as it is in the Idolmaster movie.
Oh, is Hatsune Miku still there?
Probably. I didn't check.
I hope so.
She is probably still there.
Most
Hatsune
likely.
Miku is best idol. We all know this.
Mm-hmm, it's true.
But yeah, so this is basically the exact same scene that happens, but it's from Jupiter's perspective this time. So they talk about, like, they want to go to they mentioned the upcoming live show, like the Arena Live that Namco Pro is doing, and they're like, hey, invite us to your concert. They go to the concert, and then afterwards they kind of talk amongst themselves, and they're like, you know what? That one really loud producer, as annoying as he is, he's the only one who has never mentioned money when he asked to recruit us.
It's true.
So I think maybe we can trust him.
Seems legit.
Seems legit. The other thing about Psycho Pro, the new agency, is that apparently they are brand new. They're, like, just starting, and they're trying to just, like, gather up a bunch of idols that they can start, like, producing. And so they're like, it's gonna be hard because it's a brand new agency, but these guys seem the most legit out of everyone we've talked to.
Makes sense.
And then we cut ahead to the end credits where the boys are at a big concert with new outfits and a new song, and it's a good time.
Yeah,
go
good
boys.
time. Go boys.
Go boys.
I'm glad Jupiter's doing better. Back on their feet.
Back on their tippy-tappy toes.
And then off their tippy-tappy toes, and then landed because they did a backflip.
I was just about to make that joke. You stole my joke from me, Sarah.
I beat you to the punch.
How dare you? I can't believe you've done this. Anyway, now it's time to get into the series proper, which means that we need to introduce some more boys.
More boys! We already knew Jupiter. Trash. Give me some new ones. These boys are old. These boys smell a little stinky, a little expired. Ooh, they've been around for a little too long. I'm just kidding. I love Jupiter.
I was about to say, Sarah.
No, I like Jupiter. I just want some fresh boys.
All right, well,
some
here, let
greens.
me introduce to you some fresh, hot new boys. Some fresh off the rack.
Straight out of the oven.
Some deliciously grilled boys. Ready for you. They have, like, I'm just imagining, like, a convenience store, and it's like, hey, we got all kinds of idols here. Them Jupiter boys have been on the hot dog roller for a little too long, but they're still good.
Does our back alley guy work at the convenience store also?
Maybe that's how he does his money laundering.
Oh, that makes sense.
Anyway, continuing on with this lore. So I'm going to go ahead and introduce the main three boys all at once, just because it'll be a little bit easier. So our main three boys are, first we have Teru.
Oh, hi Teru.
Who is such a good boy.
He is.
Sarah, I cannot handle how good this boy is.
He's like the best. He's so good. Like he's like my favorite main character, really, as far as like a lot of these shows go. Like he does like, very good.
Same though. Mm-hmm. He's extremely good. A big thing with most members of SideM as a franchise is their kind of key point is that all of them used to have jobs, but then they traded in their jobs for being idols. And so you'll hear me talk about, oh, this guy was a this, but now he's an idol. This guy was this, now he's an idol. So of our main three boys, Teru, he is the red one. Mm-hmm. He's got like kind of auburn reddish hair. It's kind of short, choppy. He's got like a little bitty goatee. Mm-hmm. Just like a little soul patch. It's a little goofy, but it's kind of charming.
Yes.
And he is apparently an ex-lawyer.
Yep.
I wonder if he's buddies with Phoenix Wright.
I hope so. I really hope so.
I know. I want to see these boys in court together. That's my new fanfiction.
I'm sure that something exists like that, Star. Don't worry.
Oh, it absolutely does. I just think it's fun to think about. But yeah, so he's like the red one. He's a very, very good boy. Mm-hmm. He's got that main character energy, something fierce. Mm-hmm. And then we have our blue character, our Chihaya type, quote unquote.
There's always a Chihaya in these.
There's always a Chihaya. It's a game of spot the Chihaya in the cast, and it's usually pretty easy.
It's usually the blue one.
It's usually the blue one, yeah. So the Chihaya of this anime is Kaoru. He's got like short, kind of like the perfect, like kind of soft anime boy hair. It's just kind of like, I don't want to call it a grown out bowl cut because it's more sophisticated than that. What would you call his haircut, Sarah?
I would call it a long bowl cut.
Damn it. You're not helping. But yeah, he's got like these long bangs that kind of hang in his eyes a little bit, and he's got glasses, blue eyes, black hair. He's very serious. He is an ex-surgeon, and his whole thing is like, I just want to be top idol. And you find out more about his motivations later. But his whole thing is like, Sarah, he's kind of an asshole.
Yeah, he's not the nicest.
No. He's kind of a lone wolf type. He's the She-Ho of this Idolmaster franchise, basically.
Yeah.
But he is an adult man, instead of a teenager, which is interesting.
But at least he no longer carries a knife. Probably.
One day he's just gonna fucking snap.
Oh, yeah.
Aren't you tired of being nice? Don't you want to just go apeshit? And he just stabs a bunch of people.
Star, tell me about the last boy, because the last boy is your type.
So our last boy of the main three is Tsubasa, and I wrote in my notes that he is the goodest boy.
I knew it!
He is very much, he's gonna go in my greenies bowl.
Yo.
Because you gotta eat your greens.
You gotta eat your leafy greens.
He's the greenie. He's my leafy green of this franchise.
I wasn't
waiting
even
for
thinking
you
about
to get to him. I wasn't even doing that until you brought it up. Like, honestly, okay, he's a good boy. I do also I would consider him and Teru tied for my favorite in this series, actually. They're both very good. I have cried over both of them, and we'll get there.
I would let both of them be my dad. They're good
Sarah,
dad energy.
They're our age, Sarah.
I know, but they feel like they'd be good parents. And I don't mean this in any sort of gross, sexy way. I just mean they'd be good parents.
I love my 3-day dads.
My 3 gay dads.
So that's basically our main three characters. There are 3 gay dads, but I need to talk about Tsubasa more, aside from just saying he's a good greenie. His whole thing is like he has a lot of similarities with Ryu from iDOL 7. He's tall. He does not care for conflict. But also one of his character quirks is he eats a lot. Mm-hmm. But not in the way that, like, other characters who eat a lot, they're just, like, snacking constantly. It's just, like, they go out to dinner a lot, and he'll get, like, 5 main dishes. To the point where Teru's like, my god. And at one point later, he only gets 2 main dishes, and Teru's like, something's wrong with him.
Oh, no.
But yeah, he is an ex-pilot, and we are going to talk about that more when we get to his episode, because I did cry about it. The show made me cry twice, and it's not even fair. Dumb boys, I'm getting emotional. Listen, I'm a sap and I cry easily, but also, how dare these boys make me cry so hard about them? I'm just good boys.
Everything in the pop rom or sitcom, My 3 Gay Dads, it's gonna make you laugh, it's gonna make you cry, it's gonna make you sing.
The most heartwarming anime of the season. My 3 Gay Dads.
My 3 Gay Dads.
Anyway, so let's talk about our 3 gay dads. It's funny because I actually looked it up. So I'm not sure how old Tsubasa is, but Teru is 28 and Kaoru's 26. So it's like, oh, I feel appreciated because we have characters more in our age group.
But I feel a little sad that they're not old enough to be my dad. Not gonna lie though, I love my dad, my actual dad. I love my actual dad. But also these 3 dads.
I need my anime dads.
My anime dads.
All right. So we open on episode 1. We open with a flash forward scene. They spoil the ending of the anime in the first 30 seconds. Because we see a flash forward scene of all of our boys. They're backstage just before they go on for a concert. And then we have a flashback to the past.
Oh.
And we see a dramatic flashback of our new boy, Teru, our red hair leader child.
Red dad.
He's not a child. I can't call them children because they're not children. They're
Dad.
the same age as us, Sarah.
They're dads. The red dad.
Our new dad. It's just like, I'm not going to be able to call everyone dads because there are some young children in this anime.
No, those ones aren't dads, just the main three.
Well, no, I would argue that the other characters are also dads. There's dads and there's boys. The only two age groups. There's, at some point, there's a coming of age. There's a time in every young boy's life where they become a dad. That you don't actually have to be a father, but you are a dad.
I think you understand, Star.
Anime logic. Anyway, so we get a flashback with our boy Teru. Our dad Teru. And he's a lawyer. Woo. And apparently there was some drama in the past.
Objection.
With involving the firm he used to work at and some kid who was like, "You're abandoning me," and Teru's like, "No, I'm not." And then we'll get back to that. It's very vague right now. But also I would like to point out, I immediately love this man. He's a very good boy. He's a good dad. He and I are the same age, and I know that kind of is revealing to me, but I don't give a shit because I was so enchanted by having an anime character who's the same age as me, and I'm like, fuck yeah.
Here's the thing, Stars, he's a year younger than me.
Not by much.
I know, but he's still my dad.
Sarah, you my mom?
No.
You're only like 8 months older than me, but Sarah.
No, I'm your aunt.
Oh, okay.
Now go play with some matches, Star.
Okay! But yeah, also I would like to point out, he's got like, one of his character icons is he's got like this, I guess it's like an ascot or a scarf or something. And it's red, and it's got a little gold star with some, like, fleur-de-lis around it. So, like, he's already wearing my brand, so I'm required to love him.
That's fair.
My dude. Anyway, so, we cut ahead. This flashback was apparently a dream sequence, and he is now waking up in a bar because he drank too much and he passed out.
In my iDOL anime.
Drinking in my iDOL anime? More likely than you think. And so he wakes up and he finds this contract in front of them.
Uh-oh, it's QB.
It's an iDOL contract, and he signed it, and there is a business card next to him, and he thinks, "Oh shit, I got so drunk I agreed to be an idol. What the fuck?" And that feels like it would be the light novel title.
I mean, to be fair, it seems legit, right? Like, if anyone was going to quit their day job and become an idol, it's probably not when you're particularly sober.
No. I mean, I would, but...
Yeah, that's fair.
But yeah, so basically he wakes up, he sees this, he freaks out, and he's like, "Oh, fuck, I can't believe I agreed to be an idol. I gotta go find them and I gotta set this right."
I mean, he's a lawyer.
So
I bet he could figure out a way to get out of a contract.
I mean, listen, if it came down to that, I'm sure he could. But if that happened, we wouldn't have the rest of the anime.
True.
So he shows up at the idol agency, and it's like this tiny little office in this one, like, office building. It's tiny and kind of shitty. And he meets the producer.
Yeah!
And I love the producer from this anime.
I love him.
He is very much like most Idolmaster producers in that he has no name. He has no backstory. He is the blankest possible slate. But also, key point here, I think this is the first time we've ever seen a producer that is the same gender as the idols they are producing. Which is an interesting choice.
Oh, it's true. I'm thinking back.
Yeah, because, like, Idolmaster producer was a dude. Cinderella Girls producer is a dude. All of the shows we've covered that have a producer character, they're always the opposite gender of whatever gender their idols are.
It's
except for SideM. And I feel like the reason for this may have been so that the girls and people who are into guydol, who come to this show for the pretty boys, now have one more pretty boy to simp over.
It's true. And to ship with.
And to ship with.
Because he's so cute. He's so
very
snappy,
cute.
And he has a ponytail.
Yeah, so, Idolmaster SideM producer, he's just kind of like this average-looking dude, but he is very cute. He's got, like, kind of like desaturated brown black hair in like kind of the anime mom who is going to die hairstyle.
You're right.
It's like a low ponytail and he wears it over one shoulder and it never leaves the shoulder.
Producer.
Yeah, so it's anime mom who dies hairstyle, and he talks very formally. He seems like a very formal dude, but not so much that it seems like he has a stick up his ass. He's just very polite.
Yeah,
which is cool. Mm-hmm. And so they kind of recount the events of the previous evening. Apparently the producer was at the bar, and Teru got so excited about being an idol that he drunkenly wrote the contract himself.
Uh-oh. Could God write a contract so good he could not get out of it?
Oh no! And so Teru has apparently been working as a freelance lawyer because he quit his previous job at a very prestigious law firm because there was some sort of drama involving a case he was on, and they were trying to like take him off the case, and he's like, no, I gotta keep working on this case. And so he quit so that he could defend this child from the flashback, theoretically. It's a little bit vague on the details. Mm-hmm. But the producer says, well, if you really don't want to be an idol, we can cancel your contract. And then the other two boys walk in, dads. Mm-hmm. I'm just gonna, like, whatever the sound version of photoshopping is, every time I say the word boy, I'm just gonna put in the exact same saying of the word dad.
Dad. Just
the same sound clip of dad.
Walk in.
Two more dads. Walk into the idol office. And so this is Kaoru and Tsubasa's intro. Our stuck-up ex-surgeon and our soft green boy. And Kaoru is a bitch right away. And he's like, if you don't want to be an idol, then you should just leave. And Tsubasa's like, no, don't be rude, be nice. And that's setting up their personalities immediately.
Incredible.
Mm-hmm. And the producer's like, well, if you don't want to be an idol, that's fine. But I have an idea. This is before they have scouted Jupiter. Mm-hmm. And they're like, well, we've been trying to scout them, so I was going to go to one of their concerts today. Do you want to tag along? And they're like, yes.
Oh.
And then they walk in and they watch the concert, and Teru is overwhelmed by, wow, idols.
I'm so proud
to the point where he has like this dramatic zoom in and his hair's like billowing in the wind, and he's got this face like, oh, the power of idols.
Idol power.
And so, like, he decides he wants to be a guydol, is what I wrote in my notes.
Mm-hmm. It's true. Inspiring.
So we cut to the boys at practice, and I have seen Teru's workout clothes before. Mm-hmm. It's gone around on Twitter multiple times. Yep. And before watching this show, I knew nothing about this man's other than he's got a hoodie that just says lawyer on it in English, and I love him immediately. And here's the thing, Sarah. I've got a vinyl cutter. Technically, there is nothing stopping me from making this hoodie except for the fact that I am not a lawyer and it would attract some questions.
Well, that's when you just hand them your really fancy business card for Idol Days, Star.
Oh no, you're
your
right.
Really, really nice business card.
My God, what font is he using? And our agency, American Psycho Pro.
American Psycho Pro.
Because we're the American brand, you know? We need to make actual business cards for when conventions start happening again. On one side, it's like an actual, like, legitimate looking business card, but then on the other days, it actually has, like, our logo and shit.
There you go.
American Psycho Pro.
American Psycho Pro.
Anyway.
Yep.
So the next day we cut to the boys at practice. So they do like voice and dance lessons. Kaoru's good at singing, but not at dancing. He is very, very not fit. And Kaoru and Teru kind of snark back and forth at each other quite a bit. They're just kind of like at each other's throats the whole time. It's like, oh, well, you're not fit. Oh, well, you can't sing. It's that kind of petty shit because they don't really get along yet.
The initial tension between the red one and the blue one.
Yeah, basically. So later, producer is out walking and he sees Kaoru kind of practicing outside of his apartment building. And then Teru and the producer are talking about their sync problem because one of the things the dance instructor's like, you guys need to get in sync better because you're really out of sync because you don't get along. This is now dance practice therapy.
Mm-hmm. It's because they haven't played a sport yet.
Yeah, they need to like do the sports episode right away. Mm-hmm. Get in sync. And so there's like just kind of a lot of conversation here about how Teru wants to still be an idol. He's like, I want to work with him if he's willing to work with me. All the idol boys end up going to where Kaoru is practicing, and they're like, we need to work together. And Kaoru's like, oh, okay. And then the next time we see them at practice, they're finally in sync. Yay! Go boys!
Yay! Go boys!
And then the producer says that they're all going to be in an idol unit together with Teru as the leader.
Ooh.
Called Dramatic Stars.
Dramatic Stars.
Good boys.
Mm-hmm.
And then the boys meet the president, and he's still super loud.
Yay.
And at this exact moment in the show, I was thinking, wow, that's cool. So we spent a whole episode on our main three boys and kind of getting to know them. So maybe this show will be good and it will like introduce the characters slowly rather than all at once. And literally as I am thinking this, the producer's like, oh, hey, by the way, here's 11 more boys. And I'm like, oh, God damn it.
Just piling on the boys.
Just so many boys.
The producer comes back from the Combini with all the boys. All these new fresh boys off the hot rollers.
He's like, guys, they were having a 2-for-1 sale and I bought so many.
I bought so many boys.
Look at all these boys I brought home. Can we keep them? So at this point, there are 17 boys total. And if you are thinking that is different from the number that I said at the beginning, you are right. And we'll get there. For now, there are 17. There are our 3 Jupiter boys. There are our 3 Dramatic Stars boys, who is our 3 main characters. And now we have 11 more. And I'm going to go ahead and introduce the rest of them now, because episode 2, the start of episode 2 is where we introduce the rest of the characters in, like, under 2 minutes.
All the boys! Let's go!
Here come the boys! Yeah, so we get a scene with the producer talking about all the new units. So the cool thing about this show that's gonna make it a lot easier for me to talk about is that all of the characters are broken up into subunits already, like by the time they are recruited. Mm-hmm. And so you'll hear me say, like, oh, this group of boys does this, and this group of boys does this. And so that's just how we kind of keep them separated. It'll make it a little bit easier to keep them straight.
Yep.
So I'm going to talk. So when we start episode 2, they introduce the subunits first rather than the characters. And then we kind of learn more about the characters as the show goes on. So the different units are Jupiter. We already know these boys. Mm-hmm. Dramatic Stars. Mm-hmm. We know these boys.
Dads.
Then there is, I don't know how, I always read it as Bait, because it is spelled B-E-I-T, but in the show they pronounce it Baito, which makes sense because then it's a pun, because Baito is like part-time work or something in Japanese, and that's kind of their gig, is all 3 of these boys met working at their part-time jobs, and that's where they got scouted from. But if I call them Bait, please don't get mad at me because that is how it is spelled. I believe it is spelled in English too, which does not help. So there's 3 of these boys. The first one is Pierre. Mm-hmm. He is a little blonde baby.
Small.
He's very small. He works as a mascot character.
Frog.
He's like a little frog prince. Mm-hmm. And he's fun because he apparently has, like, he is a literal prince in another country, and he's just here working a part-time job for some reason. And he's got, like, a bunch of secret police people who follow him around, and they never talk. They only communicate through pantomiming, and it's the funniest shit I've ever seen.
It's good.
Then there is Kyoji. He is very much like tall, stoic type. He does not talk very much, and when he does talk, he's kind of shy, and he does not talk much at all. He's kind of like, he's not like serious. He's just kind of like, eh. He actually has more Chihaya energy than Kaoru does, I would argue.
That's fair.
Because he just doesn't talk much, is his personality. He also has heterochromia, so one of his eyes is blue and one of his eyes is green, but it took me a while to tell because it's so subtle.
Oh.
There's a second Idolmaster character that has done that. The first one is in Cinderella Girls, and we'll get to her later. And also, his hair keeps changing colors, and it drives me crazy. In something, like, okay, this is similar to What's-His-Face in, what's the show we reviewed earlier this year?
Oh, Sukiuta?
Sukiuta. You were saying, like, one of them, when he goes into idol mode, he gets the pink highlights?
Yes.
This is like that, but his whole hair changes color when he goes into idol mode.
Whoa.
When he's a normal dude, his hair is brown, but in all of the promotional videos and in all of the promo pictures, whenever he's in idol costume, his hair is black.
Oh.
And it drives me crazy. It's like, why does your hair keep changing color? Sir, excuse me. It's like, I know that your hair can change color in the light, but this is a little bit intense.
Too much color.
Too much color change. And then the third member is Minori. He has, like, kind of soft brown hair. It's in, like, a little bitty ponytail in the back of his head. He's got, like, swoopy bangs on one side. He's cute. He's a florist. He is honestly kind of forgettable because he is one of the boys that does not get hardly any attention during the show.
Yeah.
Moving on. Then we have SEM. I'm probably just going to call them SEM because it's easier to say. That stands for Science, English, Mathematics.
I just love that that's the concept of the group.
I know! Listen, I went into this not expecting to love these guys as much as I do, but I fucking love them. They're great. So all three of these members are ex-teachers. They all work together at the same school, and then they quit so they could be idols, and we'll talk more about their backstories later. But there's three of them. So the first one is Jiro. He is their science teacher. I wrote him down. He's kind of like sleepy, sloppy, sort of. He's just kind of like very low energy, kind of grouchy dude. He's apparently in his 30s. And he reminds me a lot. He gives me the big Dr. Stein vibes that I haven't been super into since my Soul Leader phase in college.
Oh,
but
you're right. I can see it.
Sarah, everybody in the Discord has me pegged so hard because they knew I was going to like this character immediately. And I'm like, no, I do like him. Shit.
Oh, no, you were
I
right.
love it. It's like, damn it, I love that no, I don't love it. I love him. I hate that I'm so predictable. God damn it. Because, like, you just look at a picture of him, and he's like, okay, sure, whatever. He's got, like, a ponytail, whatever. But when he's not an idol, he's just got, like, this kind of, like, fluffy brown hair, and it kind of hangs in his eyes, and he just looks tired all the time. I'm like, oh, no.
Sleepy boy.
Sleepy boy Dokies. I love him.
Sleepy
Oh,
dad.
no. Oh, no. And then the next one, so if I like this one, Rui is you, Sarah. He is the chaos of the group.
He is.
He is the English teacher. He's blonde. He's got big energy. So anyone who's a teacher might understand this. I used to be a teacher for a couple of years. You kind of decide on a classroom persona for yourself. Whereas, like, when I am in front of students, this is the person I am. I am Rui in my teacher persona.
It's true. You're so Genki.
Because you actually observed some of my classes. This man is me in front of students.
Yep.
If anyone wants to know what I was like as a teacher, just look at Rui Maita from Idolmaster SideM.
You were even the
That's
English
me.
teacher.
I was an English teacher, yeah, so that's... I feel a kinship with this man. And then the last one is Michio, and he is our math teacher. He's very interesting because he's very serious, but he's so serious, it kind of works against him and kind of turns into silly business. Like, he wanted to become an idol so that he could better, like, relate to his students. He's like, I want to reach the students better, and I'm not doing it well in the classroom, but I really want to do a good job at this. I should be an idol instead. And the other guys are like, cool, let's do it.
Seems legit.
Seems legit, and they're great. So the SEM boys is Jiro, the sleepy one, Rui, the English teacher, Genki one, and Michio, the serious one. Next we have High Joker, and this is the last of the groups I'll introduce for now. And these are literally our K-On! Boys.
They are! They're in the light music club!
Because that's what K-On! Means. It's the K-On! boot.
Oh.
And there's 5 of them, and one of them's last name is actually Akiyama, which is the same as Mio from...
What if they're related?
iDOLluminati. Confirmed. I'm wearing that shirt today. It's appropriate. Confirmed. But yeah, so there's 5 of them. The first one is Shiki. He is their singer. He's kind of their front man. He's got this kind of black, choppy, flippy hair. He wears glasses. He is very, very big chaos boy.
Yep.
When people in the Discord were describing this character to me, my first response was, "Oh, it's Sarah."
I'm proud.
It's Sarah as an anime boy. Yep, legacy. He uses, like, a lot of, like, hyperbole. He's like, "Oh, it's a super mega ultra max concert." And I'm like, who did your branding?
It seems like
he sounds like
you talk like
you're trying to You talk like you're trying to market to teens.
Because he is a teens.
He is a teens.
That's the third age group you can be, by the way.
It's teens.
Boys, dads, and teens.
But it's boys, BOYS.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Boys, guys, and teens.
Boys, dads, and teens.
Boys, dads, and teens. Yep. Sorry. Guys is a whole other thing.
It's a whole different thing.
But yeah, so basically Shiki, big chaos. He wears, like, flowers around his neck sometimes, and I love that about him.
Mm-hmm.
Then there is Hayato. He's got green hair, but I would not consider him one of my greenies because he does not have the required energy. Mm-hmm. His thing is, like, he's the composer. He writes all their music. He's very passionate, but he cries really easily, and this is very relatable to me. Yep. He just gets overwhelmed by how much he loves his friends and just starts crying sometimes, and I'm like, yeah, same.
Yeah, same.
And then there's Hayato, who is this boy, and there's Haruna, which is this boy, which confused me for a long time. Mm-hmm. So Haruna is he's the drummer. He's got red hair, and he always wears a big, thick headband. He's apparently not the brightest boy. He did get held back twice.
He is the drummer, ayo!
Ayo! He is the Chadbert of this anime.
There you go.
And that is a joke specifically for Sarah.
Just for me.
Just for Sarah, because that's a reference to our D&D campaign. But yeah, so his thing is, like, he works several jobs and does not study much, apparently, but he's a good boy. Mm-hmm. Then there is June. He's kind of the serious one. He's the more down-to-earth, focused one. He's got, like, the black, soft boy hair.
He's Shinji.
He looks like him. He's who?
He looks like Shinji.
Oh my god, he does.
Yep. He's serious, too.
I was gonna say he looks like a baby Kaoru.
Oh, I can see that.
He's like it's like Kaoru and mini Kaoru. Mm-hmm. And so he's kind of like the personality foil to Shiki, who is the big passionate one, and they kind of fight a lot. Mm-hmm. Not like serious fighting, but just like, stop being so passionate. And Shiki's like, I can't help it, I got all this energy.
High schoolers.
High schoolers, yeah. And then there is Natsuki, who is the final one. He is, like, very, very shy, kind of soft-spoken. He doesn't talk much, and when he does, he talks very softly and very slowly. He's just kind of like a gentle boy. Mm-hmm. And he and June are apparently very good friends.
Soft boy.
Soft boy. Oh, and he's the bassist, and June, the serious one, is the keyboardist. I forgot to mention that.
Yes, they all suit their instruments very well.
Yes. So that's all of our boys. There's so many.
All of our boys for now.
For now, yeah. We're going to add some more later, which I'm, like, a little bit resentful about, because
I understand.
Whatever. So anyway, after we introduce all of our boys, we get the opening. It's very cute and sparkly, and it's all nicely animated, all in 2D. Mm-hmm. And this was the point where I wrote down in my notes that I realized that Hokuto looks like Ignis Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
this was the point where I realized. So the producer meets up with his gaggle of boys, because they are gonna go do a photo shoot. It is following original Idolmaster so closely because they also did a photo shoot in episode 2.
Yep.
But that's kind of the end of the plot similarities aside from just general idol plot.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just kind of basic shenanigans to kind of introduce you to their characters in like a more naturalistic way, which I do appreciate. So the Dramatic Stars boys, Tendo wants to wear like samurai clothes to make a big impact, and Kaoru just wants to wear a suit. And they kind of disagree on what to wear, so they all wear different things, and they do not match at all. The Bait boys all wear track jackets, and they try to pose like cool kids, and it's very cute. The High Joker boys, the K-On! Boys, all wear like leather jackets, trying to look like little punks. The SEM men.
Dads.
The SEM dads. They wear like hot pink tank tops and stripy purple shorts. It is a look.
Yep.
And this is the first point where you see Michio, the math teacher, taking it so seriously it turns around to be silly, where he's like, I analyzed trends of idol costumes over the years, and these have the maximum potential, but they look so bad.
Maximum idol potential.
Maximum idol potential. And the other two just kind of go along with it, and they're like, yeah, all right, what he said.
Math one said it.
He's the analyst, so we're just gonna do what he says.
Yep.
And so after they take their pictures, they all look at the photos and they are all terrible and hate them. And they're like, producer, what should we do? All of our pictures look like shit. And they end up deciding that they're going to do a reshoot later, which will give them some time to come up with ideas. We get some little scenes of all the groups trying to think about what their concept is and what makes them unique. And they don't have much success, but this does let us see their personalities a little bit better.
Which is good, because there's so many of them.
There's so many. But yeah, it does give you, like, lots of good little nuggets of personality in here. It's very show, don't tell, which I did appreciate. So earlier in the episode, there was a conversation about how Jupiter was going to go do a concert, and all the boys were like, we want to go to the Jupiter concert. So they show up the morning of the Jupiter concert, but apparently there's a bad typhoon, and so now, like, all of the staff is stuck in the rain and they won't be there for hours.
Uh-oh.
And it's suggested that they cancel the concert, but producer's like, no, it's okay, we can do it. We've got this whole gaggle of boys here. And so, he ends up, like, all the other idol boys end up volunteering, and we just see more shenanigans and, like, a montage of them helping to set up the concert and doing stuff, and it's very cute.
Good job, boys.
Go, boys, go. And then after they finish setting up the concert, the actual staff arrives and takes over, and Teru waxes poetic about how all the boys are so different, and they all come from such different backgrounds, and we all came together to be idols. And then Jupiter is like, yeah, that's really cool. We're going to be your kind of friendly competition now because we've been idols for a while, so we're like your senpais. And then they all bro fist. It's very cute.
Good job.
Yeah, it's very sweet. Like, I'm not going into too deep of detail because there's a lot of content in this episode, but it's just a lot of, like, good character building for these boys. And, like, it's very small. They really are just, like, itty bitty bitty little, like, snacks.
Because there's so many.
Because there's so many.
So many boys, dads, and teens.
It's good. It's cute. There's a lot of cute character interactions. It's a good time. So then it's time for the concert at the end of the episode. We don't really see it, but the Jupiter boys get new looks, and I'm not super big on these costumes, but Toma does get a fedora, which is hilarious.
As you do.
And then at the end of the episode, it is time for them to retake their photos, and all of their boys just kind of show up in their casual work clothes. Casual or work clothes, and so there's a montage of them taking pictures, and all of the solo pictures they take are the character art that's featured in the mobile game, which I thought was really cute.
Oh, that's a nice little nod to the game. I like that.
Yeah, it was sweet. Like, Teru's in his lawyer outfit, and he's holding a gigantic phone. And then, like, Kaoru's in a surgeon outfit, and, like, the high school boys are in their uniforms. It's really cute. Mm-hmm. And then we take the stereotypical picture at the end of the episode with a whole gaggle of boys all together, and they're, like, little casual outfits, and it's really cute.
Aw.
So, episode 3.
3.
This is the second episode that made me cry.
Oh, no.
The first one was episode 1, where I cried about Teru just because he's such a good boy.
He's so good.
And then this is the other episode that made me cry because Tsubasa is such a good boy.
Yeah.
And this is kind of his episode.
Gotta love these dads.
Gotta love these dads. So we open with the Dramatic Stars dads in an interview. It's gonna be weird calling them dads because I just wrote boys in my notes. So Teru's like, I want to be a hero. And Kaoru's like, I just want to be a top idol. And Tsubasa says he wants to see the ultimate view, which is vague. But he's like, my dad was a pilot and he always talked about it. I had to quit being a pilot myself for undisclosed reasons. But I was thinking that being an idol, I could have a good view of the audience while I'm on stage. And I'm like, that's weird but cute. Okay. Mm-hmm. So later, the Dramatic Stars dads will be told, or get told that of all the groups, they're going to be the ones who debut first. And this is the point where we realize that Teru makes so many goddamn puns.
Yep.
He is a pun man. Mm-hmm. Stop giving me reasons to love you.
Yeah, I mean, he has to have dad jokes. It's the law if you're a dad.
He's got... Oh no, you're right. Shit.
What?
Idol Illuminati?
Dad Illuminati.
Oh no, I have to make a new t-shirt now.
That might just be the real Illuminati, though.
Oh, you know what? That's fair. Anyway, so the producer shows up, and he's already got their outfits. They have image color-coded suits, which are very cute.
It's so cute.
In red, blue, and green. And I'm like, oh, we love some professional dads.
Yep.
And then they're gonna do, like, kind of their very first debut concert is gonna be broadcast on TV.
What? Good job.
Good job, boys. Dads.
Dad boys.
So dad boys. Fathermen.
Fathermen.
We have a montage of them doing all their promo stuff, prepping for the concert. At one point, we see Kaoru holding a necklace dramatically, and that's a fucking Chekhov's gun that we are gonna come back to in, 12 episodes.
Is he gonna shoot someone with the necklace?
Yes.
Incredible.
So, also, I hinted earlier that I was gonna have a continuation of my Dramatic Stars rant. Here it is. Oh, no. Not Dramatic Stars. Dearly Stars. Mm-hmm. Too many DS acronyms. I can't keep them straight.
Too many D-Stars.
So, D-Stars. Dearly Stars. The Dramatic Stars boys are just kind of walking around at one point, like at a TV studio, and then they bump into Ryo, who... I don't think I've ever talked about this character. Ryo is an idol who debuted with Dearly Stars, but is now technically part of SideM.
Yeah. I didn't know this history.
Because Ryo is, canonically Ritsuko's cousin, Ritsuko Idolmaster.
Whoa.
And she was like, hey, you should audition for an idol. And he ends up going to the female idol auditions instead. But everyone thinks he's a girl, and then he just kind of rolls with it. And so that's, his plot line in Dearly Stars is oh gosh, everyone thinks I'm a girl, I guess I'll just play along so I can be an idol. But then when SideM came out, he actually got to be a member of SideM. He's like, okay, I can be a boy now, cool.
Oh, well, good job for being idol either way.
Yeah, so this was I'm not sure if it's the first cameo, but this is the first one that I noticed. He's like, oh, my son. There he goes. But he's in a female idol outfit at this point.
Aw, good job.
Yeah, he's in a cute little pink dress. He's a sweetie. And anyways, that's the end of my Dearly Stars rant. Someday they will be acknowledged and get content that is not just cameos in other Idolmaster franchises. Damn it.
One day.
Yep. At some point, they go to dinner together. Tsubasa's like, eating dinner together with friends is a good way to show that you trust each other, and it was a good luck ritual for him when he was a pilot. And he kind of talks about being a pilot for a while. And so you'll remember he is not a pilot anymore, and we are about to find out why. Because it's dress rehearsal day. And so the boys are all kind of nervous, and Tsubasa's like, it's okay, we can do it. But then as soon as they go on stage for the dress rehearsal, he stares into the stage lights, and he has a goddamn PTSD flashback to a plane he was piloting getting hit by lightning.
Oh no.
And so he's on stage, and he just freezes.
I mean...
And everyone's like, hey, Tsubasa, are you okay?
I mean, it's like, in Zombieland Saga, like, it's real trauma, really.
Yeah, real trauma TM.
Yeah, like, it's a very believable reason to shut down. I don't blame him at all. No,
not at all. It's just, like, very kind of, oh gosh, my son, my man-son.
My dad.
My dad, oh no. He's both my son and my father. The timeline is awkward, but you just have to trust me on this one. But yeah, so they talk. Apparently he did figure himself out eventually, and like they managed to practice, but then backstage these talkings, like, he's still really shaken up even afterwards, and he keeps worrying that he's gonna screw up again. And Kaoru is very intense about them doing well, but Tsubasa just seems like really shaken by the whole thing. So then producer takes them to like a rooftop near an airport, and they're like, hey, now you can watch the planes take off. It's exposure trauma.
No. Producer, I don't know if you have a license to do this.
No, and so producer leaves, and then the other three boys, dads, talk about their his tragic backstory, which is apparently like he trained to be a pilot and he wanted to be a pilot so bad, but then during his first flight as a co-pilot, he froze up really badly during a thunderstorm and is now too traumatized to fly a plane again.
Yeah, that scared me too.
Yeah, for real. So instead he was put on ground crew, but he was so upset because every single day he would be there and he would just watch all the planes take off and get sad about it. Do you like, damn it, that could be me.
Do you think it was Tsubasa in the opening to iDOL 7? Start.
Sarah. Oh my god. Sarah!
Your favorite character here is your favorite character there. Sarah! Illuminati confirmed.
Confirmed. I cannot believe this. Sarah! Oh my god! The truth has been revealed! Tsubasa Idolmaster is airline guy!
Yes.
Oh my god! You cracked it!
This was his first exposure to idols. That's how he knows about idols.
That's how he knows the dance! And once he was just vibing on the plane, he was like, oh, hell yeah, I know, I'd like this jam. That's what inspired him to be an idol,
yeah,
Sarah!
Yeah, he was iDOL 7.
He's like, wait, I can also dance on the runway. Look at me go, and that's how he got started.
That's how he got into it.
Oh my god!
We cracked the code.
Sarah, I think the episode is over.
We're
done. We've done it. We've solved it. We've cracked the code.
There will be no more mysteries in the idol world after we get to all of the anime.
No, my eyes are fucking taped open to see the truth.
Sarah adds another red string to her billboard.
The red string of eternity. It is here. We have idolus now. They are here.
Yep.
I can't really form a coherent sentence because you've cracked it. I can't believe it.
I cracked the code and I cracked Starla.
Yeah, you did.
She's leaking a little out of the brain.
I'm just sitting here alone with my salad of good boys, and just thinking about idols for a while.
Yep.
And everything is true. I can't believe it.
Everything is connected.
Everything is connected. But yeah, so he was put on ground crew, but he was sad because he still wanted to be a pilot, but he's just, like, so anxious about messing things up. And even now when he's an idol, he's worried about messing things up because now the other two boys' dreams are riding on him because he's their third member. And then I wrote in my notes, fuck me, I'm crying because this is the part that got me. And I'm like, oh no, he's got the bad times. Oh no, my son father.
Your son father.
He is combined the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit all in one.
Incredible.
They are all the same. So Teru says, is like, your dream is important too. You shouldn't worry about us so much. You should worry about yourself. And also, I am also scared of screwing up. But even if we screw up, we can still chase our dreams of being idols. Even if you mess up, you don't necessarily have to stop. And then Kaoru is a butt, sort of. He's like, if you really want to quit, then you should. But you were the one who talked about all of us sharing a destiny.
And then he goes back on his group text with Nico and Shiho.
They're just all in a bitchy idol group chat.
Yeah, they have a group text.
Oh my god. Idol Illuminati confirmed for like the 5th time this episode. Yep. But yeah, so after this, Tsubasa kind of gets some courage back, and it's really cute. So we cut ahead to the concert day. The boys, all bro-fist. Yeah, it's very cute.
Yep.
Tsubasa says he'll be fine as long as he's with the others. And then we get a dance number.
Woohoo!
So this Idolmaster is post Idolmaster movie, which means that they have figured out how to use 3D, but they only really use it when they really need it. So it's pretty much entirely 2D, but if the characters are very, very far away on screen, they switch it to 3D just so that they don't lose those details and the characters don't turn into Madoka potatoes. Because we've seen how that goes. Basically, their distance model is literally just a 3D model. But as far as the song and dance, it's cute. It doesn't really stand out. It's very standard idol fare, but they do a good job, and it's cute. Go boys.
Go boys.
Yeah, and then afterwards, Tsubasa's like, the view from stage was great, and I want to pat his head because Saji's such a go-fucking boy!
Good job!
Good job! Da-da-da-da! My god, we're like an hour and a half in and we're only on episode 4.
It's because we spent an hour describing 50,000
all
boys!
All of the boys!
There's so many of them!
To be fair, there's so many boys. Too many boys, I would argue. Mm-hmm. Episode 4. So this is the Baito episode, the Bait Boys.
Bait Boys.
So we see the Bait member. I'm sorry, you guys. I know that's not how it's pronounced, but that's what I'm gonna call it because that is how it's spelled.
It's Be It.
Be It.
Be It.
The Be It Boys.
The Beat Boys.
That just sounds like you're saying it in a southern accent. Them Be It Boys. They're cute idols. You know how they do.
The Baito.
Baito Boys. So, Minori, Ponytail Man, is a florist, Pierre is the mascot frog prince, and Kyoji works at a convenience store. Mm-hmm. And so we get these little snapshots of them at work, but then we find out that they're not actually at work. They are filming a promotional video for the shopping district that they work in. Woohoo! Turns out they were all friends before they became idols because they all met while working at their various part-time jobs. And they are very attached to the shopping district they work in. But there is talk of a mall being built nearby by Kyoji's family.
Evil mall.
Evil mall's gonna take over the shopping district. And so there's talk about this during the episode and he feels bad about it. Mm-hmm. And then they go out to eat and they see a flyer for a summer festival. And Pierre's like, I've never been to one of those. I want to go to it. And then they're able to work their magic, and the boys are like, we can help out at the festival, and we can work there as idols, and maybe help draw in some more people. Mm-hmm. And so Kyoji, kind of our serious, soft-spoken boy, he doesn't talk much, but he does say that he is looking forward to it. And then we get a flashback He ran away from I would consider them an abusive family because they were extremely overbearing and just kind of like trying to force him down a very specific path for his life. There is a scene of him as an elementary schooler being hideously lectured over getting a 95 on a quiz, and I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ. Aww. He's from one of those families.
Yeah.
So the next day is the Baito Bait Boys helping with festival prep. There's like a montage of shenanigans. At some point, Pierre goes off by himself, which is kind of rare for him because he usually has the Secret Service members following behind him. He's like, everybody stay here, even you guys. I'm gonna go get this thing and I'll be right back. And so he goes off by himself and gets distracted because he sees a truck full of plushies. And he gets in the back of the truck to look, drops his phone, and then the truck drives off with him in it. So this is an accidental child kidnapping that just happens.
Oh no. Goodbye.
And then everyone realizes that he's been gone for a while, and they think, oh shit, he's a literal prince and he got kidnapped by people who are like trying to fuck with his country's politics. Oh god.
World War III time.
Pachoo started with idols, will end with idols.
I mean, I guess that's kind of like the Iliad.
I don't know what weapons World War III will be fought with, but World War IV will be waged by idols.
Idols.
World War Idoloo.
World War Idoloo.
But yeah, so then there's kind of this weird scene where Kyoji is like, I don't want to contact the police. Because I don't want the festival to get canceled, because they're going to try and investigate here. But if I talk to my family, maybe they can organize the police secretly, and then they can investigate and help us find Pierre without getting the festival canceled. And then Minori's like, but I thought you hated your family. And Kyoji's like, I do, but this is important. One of our friends got kidnapped.
Yeah.
He wants to save Pierre and keep the festival going. And I'm like, priorities maybe?
Yeah,
it's
your
fine.
friend's missing.
Your friend's missing. Maybe there's priorities here. But then immediately after this, they find Pierre's phone on the ground when it starts ringing. And it's literally like right there. I don't know how they haven't noticed it until now. And he's calling, Pierre is on the phone. He is calling them from a payphone way out in the countryside. And the other two boys, like, take the company car and they zoom off to go rescue him. And then I wrote in my notes, Pierre needs to learn his street smarts.
Uh-oh.
Street smarts!
Street smarts!
If you ever get kidnapped and you're in the back of a van, you gotta stick your hand out and wave to oncoming traffic.
You gotta jump out of the van and then jump onto another van and parkour your way back home.
Idol parkour.
Street smarts.
Street smarts. You get kidnapped? Street smarts.
If you get kidnapped, you just have to have your hamster talk to your dog to talk to the idols back at the agency.
With this, like, edgy idol music playing in the background.
Even though you got in a fight with the dog.
Even though you got in a fight with the dog. Did you catch our super subtle original Idolmaster reference? It's okay. It's very subtle. I understand if you didn't catch it. Anyway, they find Pierre. They drive back. Kyoji is happy that he is walking his own path now. He's a good boy. They get back to the festival, and they have kind of like a credits montage of stills of them performing to one of their songs. It's cute. That's episode 4.
Woohoo!
Episode 5. It is teacher time. This is the SEM episode. I'm not sure if you're supposed to pronounce the letters or just say it like SEM, but I'm probably going to go back and forth.
Okay.
It's whatever. So, they apparently are hired to do a concert to support students at a prep school.
That seems
because
appropriate.
all of the members used to be teachers. Yes, so it is very appropriate. So cut to them at practice. The dudes are having some trouble learning the dance because apparently it is very physically demanding. And they decide that they're going to start going on morning runs to get fit. Michio, the math teacher, takes it very seriously. He buys like these intense running clothes. Jiro, my favorite boy, big dad energy, big Dr. Stein energy, apparently like super hates waking up early. but he is there and grumpy about it. Producer buys them all fitness watches, and then all the other boys from all the other units end up coming as well, and there's some just shenanigans involving these watches that's really cute. Like, the teenager high joker boys are, like, pretending they're sci-fi communicators and being like, oh no, we've got a man down, and he's, like, laying on the pavement. It's really cute and dumb.
I remember loving this episode in particular. I just remember being like, oh, they're all so good.
It's very good. This is good boys and dads and teens. So, the next morning, Jiro is, like, super duper sore. Mirio is, like, trying to hide it, but he, like, can't walk downstairs because his legs are so sore, and I'm like, yup, you shouldn't have skipped leg day, my dudes. Mm-hmm. Shouldn't have skipped leg day for 30 years. No. But this is relatable, though. Have you, like, ever, like, super worked out your legs and then tried to walk downstairs?
Oh, yeah.
You can't.
Oh, yeah.
I remember the day after my brother and I hiked Mount Fuji. That was, like, the longest hike I've ever been on in my life. Literally climbed a mountain. Could not sit down.
Yeah, that happened last time I tried to climb Stone Mountain. Next day it was like, going down stairs is hard.
It's like, yeah, it's like we were, because that was the day before. That was, like... We climbed down Mount Fuji, we had one day, and then we got on a plane. That was our last day in Fuji. And so, like, that last day, we just spent kind of, like, walking around, just kind of exploring Tokyo. And we, like, every time we had to go downstairs at a train station, we were just trying not to scream.
Oh, no.
Just like, oh, fuck, stairs. No, not again.
Oh, no.
But yeah, so this, what I'm trying to say is this is very relatable.
Yes.
So we get a little bit of a flashback of Mirio, our math teacher, talking to the producer. We get a flashback that kind of shows how these guys became idols. Apparently Jupiter performed at the school festival where these guys used to work. And this is the part where he's like, I want to guide my students and be a good role model, but I feel like I could do that better as an idol. Hey, you two. Also join me. Be idols with me. And Rui, the English teacher, is like, yeah. And then Jiro's like, what? No, that's dumb. But then Rui's like, you could probably make a lot of money. And he's like, okay, I'll do it. It's like, God, I fucking love him. Like, listen, I love Tsubasa because he's my green son. Mm-hmm. I love Teru because he's a good boy.
Good dad.
But God damn it, I love Jiro so much.
Another good dad.
Like, I love him. He's so good. He's arguably my favorite. Like, I've got my top 3. I would consider him my favorite, even though he doesn't really fit in with, like, my usual favorite tropes, but, like, God damn it, I love him so much. I want to draw him. He's got a good face.
Yeah.
Yeah. So later, they end up going jogging in the rain, and then Jiro gets sick immediately. And we have this cute scene of, like, the other boys, like, taking care of him, and, like, they make him soup.
Aw, soup.
It's cute. We cut ahead to concert day.
Ooh.
And their costumes are really weird.
Yep.
But the producer says, it's great because you're adults who take it seriously, even if it's silly. And honestly, like, I didn't think I was gonna like this group of characters, but they ended up being my favorite subunit for this exact reason. Mm-hmm. Their, like, costumes are, like, white and hot pink spandex spacesuits almost. Yep. And they're just, it's a really, really bizarre look and aesthetic, but they just play it completely straight, and it's very charming. There's something wonderful about it, and I fell for them so hard, and I'm like, oh no.
Yep, they're good. They're really good. Love these dads.
They're very good. I love these dads. So they go out on stage in, like, Japanese cheering uniforms, and I don't mean, like, cheerleaders. I mean, like, long black coats, white headband, cheer squad things. Mm-hmm. They give an inspiring speech about following your dreams, and then a school bell rings, the lights go out, and they quick change into their pink and white spandex idol costumes.
Incredible.
The students are, like, a little bit weirded out about it at first, but then they get really into it, and also the song is extremely good.
When I was in elementary school, my first grade teacher and a bunch of other teachers had a band, and they would play at all the school functions, and they would play Jimmy Buffett songs, and that's kind of what I imagine here.
Oh my God. Sarah, you've never told me that story.
It's a real fact. Mr. Spoon, first grade. Shout out to Mr. Spoon.
I'm sorry, Mr. Spoon?
That's his name!
Oh!
He was a great teacher.
Oh!
And also, he and a bunch of other teachers at my elementary school were in a band where they sang Jimmy Buffett songs.
They played Jimmy Buffett's song. What instrument did Mr. Spoon play?
I think he played bass, but I might be misremembering.
Oh, he should have played the spoons.
He should have played the spoons.
Oh, man. Okay, episode 6. So this episode is, hey, you know how we've got 17 boys? What if we had more?
Oh, more boys.
Is the plot of this episode. So we start with a very, very dramatic scene of the Dramatic Stars boys with the producer as the producer is being rushed into the hospital on a stretcher.
Oh no, producer!
And so we see this, like, super dramatic scene of them running alongside his stretcher as they're wheeling him through the hospital. Like, it's super dark. It's framed like a drama. There's Dutch angles fucking everywhere. And then he gets wheeled into the surgery room, and the, like, in-surgery light comes on. And then we skip to this like, cutesy happy opening song.
Uh-oh.
So it turns out what happens is that, the producer was working so hard that apparently his appendix burst.
Uh-oh.
And he just powered through it, but they're like, and then he collapsed.
Yeah, that'll happen.
Yeah, that's what happens. This is a bad time.
That's how you die.
Turns out he's kind of prone to overworking, which I argue would have been a better plot point if we had actually, like, seen him overworking at any point. Mm-hmm. Like, we see him at the office late at night, but we never see him, like, he's never shown to struggle with it. And I just wish that they had that a little bit more before this. Before this, it would have hit a little harder. But it's fine. It's okay. Mm-hmm. I'm willing to push past it. Anyway, while he's there, he meets these 2 ginger boys. They are twins, Yusuke and Kyosuke.
Kaoru and Hikaru.
Baby Kaoru and baby Hikaru, because they are ginger.
We have to have every episode needs at least one Oron reference.
My God, Sarah, we're just gonna, like, remake Ouran High School Host Club purely with iDOL characters, all from different franchises.
Yes, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. So, Yusuke is there with a broken leg, and I guess having a broken leg is worth being hospitalized for like, several weeks.
I mean, hey, when you have a government healthcare, then sure, why not? Let them pay for it.
Yeah, you know, right? Wow, imagine that. Anyway, so the producer apparently got some donuts from all the, like, his idols coming to visit him, and so he shares his donuts with these boys. He's like, oh, hey, do you like soccer? Because he, like, sees them playing with a soccer ball, and the twins are like, oh, you don't know about us? Don't you know who we are? And he's like, no. And they're like, yeah, that's fine. It's whatever. There was just kind of like this awkward little moment. It's like, wait, it's like asking, I don't know, who's a celebrity? It's like asking Leonardo DiCaprio if he likes movies. Because he's in movies.
Do you like movies? Do you like jazz?
Do you like movies? Do you like boats? Probably not. Leonardo DiCaprio was the one in the Titanic, right?
Also, I would like to update that Mr. Spoon sang.
Okay, good. But you didn't answer my question. Leonardo DiCaprio is the one in the Titanic,
I'm not going
right?
to answer your question because it's funnier without you knowing.
Sarah, I haven't seen the Titanic and I don't know the names of actors.
Draw me like one of your
Sarah.
French girls.
Yeah, Sarah. Was that him
Mr.
or not?
Leo.
Sarah.
Leo
Sarah.
Tama.
Sarah, you have to answer this room. Sarah. Sarah, please. I have the whole power of the internet.
I don't want to say it. I'm trying to hold it in. Yes, you're right. Stop.
Okay. I like how when I Google it, the first autofill is Leonardo DiCaprio meme. What did you... Oh, Sarah, you sent me a video.
It's my high school... or it's my elementary school teacher.
Update, everyone. Sarah has sent me film footage of, I don't want to say the name of the band because I feel like that would give away the name of your elementary school.
Yeah, and that might be some of the questions on some of my, just security online.
Yeah, your password security question. So we're not going to say the name of your elementary school, but it is called the blank band, insert name of elementary school here, performs Johnny Be Good.
Yep.
And I'm going to watch this right now. We're interrupting the podcast for this very important broadcast. Oh, it was for a staff talent show.
Yep.
That's very cute.
It's very cute.
So, we see a scene of the producer going outside with these twins, as the boys teach some little hospital kids how to play soccer. And this is the point where we find out that they are actually professional soccer players, which I feel like there should be laws against that. Like, it's very cool for them, but how did this happen?
Yep.
How did these child prodigies end up with a soccer contract? They're like 12.
Yep. And also, what teams are they playing in? Where they're making this an international career.
Yeah, for real. Like, children?
Mm-hmm. Child labor laws?
I mean, to be fair, I also have some age quandaries about Kaoru, who is apparently an ex-surgeon at the age of 26. Mm-hmm. Which is like some Ace Attorney level age fuckery.
He finished medical school really fast. Really fast.
Like, really fucking fast. He walked in and he's like, I already know everything. And the teachers were like, wow, you're hired. Go. But yes, where am I in my notes?
Soccer
kids.
Yeah,
so the twins overhear some of the iDOL boys talking to the producer, and then they're like, hey, what's your job? And the producer is like, oh, I'm like a talent scout and a producer for iDOLs. Do you guys want to be iDOLs? Haha, just kidding. You're already soccer players.
Unless.
Unless. So that night, Yusuke, the one who is hurt, finds out something, and he's nervous to tell Kyosuke about it. He, like, calls him and then, like, deflects and hangs up on him.
Aww.
And then he, like, Kyosuke, the younger twin, the uninjured twin, he gets cornered by interviewers on his way to the hospital, and they apparently spill the beans about what's going on. Because it turns out that Yusuke has apparently been hurt bad enough that he's not going to be able to keep being a pro soccer player.
Oh no.
Because he's fucked up his knee bad enough that it's dangerous for him to continue being a professional player. And Kyosuke is like, no, damn it, this is all my fault. And we see a flashback of what happened during the accident. Apparently, younger twin Kyosuke passed the ball to Yusuke. Older twin, he got hurt. And then, oh no, now he's sad. Mm-hmm. And he talks to Yusuke, and he's like, hey, well, you know, if we can't be soccer players, I don't want to be a soccer player by myself. So what if we be iDOLs instead?
What if we iDOLs though?
What if we iDOLs though? So then at the end credits is that the boys retire from soccer and now they're gonna debut as iDOLs. So now we've got 2 more boys in the cast for a total of 19.
That's like almost 2 sets of hands. That's too many hands. I already ran out of fingers a long time ago, but now I can't even ask a friend for help soon.
You gotta use your fingers and your toes, Sarah.
Oh, genius, Star.
Mm-hmm. I am iDOL genius. I know how to count to 20. With all my digits.
So many. Beep boop.
So many. Beep boops. So now, episode 7. And I always thought that it was weird that we got an episode where we recruit 2 new boys before we have even finished talking about the original boys. Mm-hmm. Because now it is time for High Joker's episode, which is our K-On! Boys.
Yeah. The teens.
The teens. Teens. So we see a flashback of their very first performance, and originally it's just 3 of them. And they're like, hey, we're the Light Music Club. We're looking for a singer and a drummer. If you want to sing or drum, join our club. And then they perform, and everybody gets really hype. Now, it is the present day. All the boys except for Shiki are taking summer classes, and Shiki, like, sneaks up on their classroom and starts filming them like a documentary footage from outside. And he's like, and here we see the wild students, the members of High Joker, in the classroom. And he's so noisy about it that they come outside and lecture him.
Incredible. Good job.
It's very good. But then they realize, oh, hey, what if we actually made, like, an actual promotional video? And they talk to producer, and he's like, okay. And he gives them a camera and says, go have fun.
Okay, kids, you go have fun making your YouTube video.
He's like, go have fun, go viral. You'll make 1 million hits on the YouTubes.
You kids with your TikToks and your YouTube.
And your YouTubes. And your Fortnite dances. I actually haven't heard much about Fortnite in a while. Is that still a thing? I don't know.
I think kids are only into idols these days.
As they should be. Mm-hmm. Anyway, so they start to brainstorm ideas for what they could do for their video. They start with, like, really, really casual interviews, and this is kind of how we learn more about the band members. Hayato, the guitarist, kind of the leader, wanted to start a band because he wanted to be popular, but also do something you could only do as a teen. Hashtag teen.
Teen.
Yeah, Jun, the serious one, was a well-known pianist, and he got invited to join the band by Hayato, the guitarist. Mm-hmm. And then Jun, the pianist, was like, hey, Natsuki, you're my friend. I know you play violin, but you should learn how to play the bass. And then he did, and then he joined the band. Woohoo. And then the other two boys joined after seeing the live show. And Haruna, their drummer, the one who's gotten held back several times, needed to join a club in order to graduate, apparently.
There you go.
Mm-hmm. So they kind of just hang out for a while and continue filming this PV. Shiki, the singer, and Hayato, the guitarist, hang out while Haruna works as a construction, like, this way please person. Turns out he's got several jobs that he has to do all the time. And so he's got several things going on.
Oh, I see.
The next day, the boys show up at Jun's house. He's got, like, this big rich person house and, like, a grand piano. We get a flashback of Jun and Natsuki doing a piano and violin duo as kids. They finish recording their PV. They hang out in the club room. Natsuki points out that they didn't get much on Shiki because he was filming the whole time. Shiki, the singer, he's like, all I do is karaoke. So I'm not that interesting. I was just super excited to join the band. They talk for a while about what they love about the band, etc. And the producer, we get a scene of him talking to their office assistant. Apparently he scouted them when they were performing at a Battle of the Bands event.
Cute.
So that's appropriate.
Cute.
At the end of the episode, the boys end up sneaking into the school pool that night for shenaniganery. Shiki keeps filming even though the PV is done, and he's like, I just want to savor these moments with my friends.
Incriminating evidence of them doing crimes.
Uh-oh. For friendship. And then at some point he's overtaken by the moment and he jumps into the pool with his phone in his pocket and he's like, oh shit.
Oh no.
And then the credit scene is the boys. There's, like, just a montage of the boys hanging out. But then after the credits, they reveal that the company is going to have a concert with all of the units, which means it's time for episode 8, the training camp episode.
Woo, let's do some sports.
Pew, pew.
Some bonding.
Pew, 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 pew,
Camping
pew,
and
pew,
bonding.
Pew, 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 pew. So, episode 8, training camp episode. Interestingly enough, this is actually, it's like this cool kind of hotel and gym built on the side of a mountain, and the side of the mountain overlooks the ocean. Does this sound familiar, Sarah?
What? Maybe. Haruka told them where they went. They're stalking the girls.
Oh no! No, this is, they go to their training camp at the same place from the Idolmaster movie.
Woohoo!
Like, I wasn't sure at first, but then at the end of the episode, there's, like, this one shot where you see, like, some little signature boards with, like, other groups that have practiced there, and there is, like, a Namco Pro one there with the signatures of all the original girls. And I'm like, oh shit, it is the same place!
Yeah.
Yep. So, this is the point where the Ginger twins are introduced to the rest of the cast. Toma, leader of Jupiter, is apparently a fan of the twins and gets an autograph, which is very cute.
Breaks character for a second.
Breaks character to fangirl for a moment. So the new boys introduce themselves. Their idol unit name is W, which is kind of cute. It's like a little pun. So the new song that the whole group, all of these boys are going to perform together is Reason, which conveniently is the OP.
Woohoo!
Everyone's going to perform it together. And this whole episode is basically a training montage. Like, there's not really a whole lot to talk about here without going into, like, just some of the gags and stuff that's more interesting to actually watch than listen to people talk about. But basically, so the important bits are, all the other boys are really impressed by Jupiter. Jupiter's, like, already memorized the choreography, and they're like, hey, Jupiter-senpai, help us train! And so they break off into 3 teams to practice what they each need to practice. So their stamina team, which is led by Toma, they all go jogging. The dance team, which is led by Shota, they all, like, practice and get up to shenanigans. There's a water gun fight at some point.
Cute.
Also, this is where Shota does his backflip.
The forbidden technique.
Hokuto leads the charm team, and they have to, like, balance books on their heads and learn how to smile good.
Sure.
Yeah, so there's, like, a water gun fight, there's a pillow fight, there's beach shenanigans. It's basically a filler episode, but it's a filler episode in that, like, you're filling your hearts with joy as you watch these boys be cute.
There you go. You're learning the way of slice of life, Star.
Yep. Listen, I can tolerate it if it's just, like, 1 or 2 episodes. But an entire show that's just that is a little hard for me.
Soon you will come to my side.
I will never come to your side. I'm sorry, Sarah. I have to, listen, we have to have representation on both sides. I'm going to sit over here on drama side, and you can be in your little happy flu land over there.
I will be happy in my happy flu land. Thank you very much.
And I'll be over here in angst corner. Thriving. Anyway. Episode 9.
Ooh.
So this is kind of another Jupiter-focused episode. So the producer and Hokuto they have, like, a meeting at a bar, and there's this one funny scene at the very beginning where the producer sees Hokuto get out of the taxi, and he, like, hands a bouquet of flowers to someone in the taxi, and you don't see who it is, and the producer immediately panics, and, like, this image appears behind him, like a Scandal article.
Yeah. Not good for idols.
That's the whole thing, is idols aren't allowed... Yeah, idols are not allowed to date, so he's like, oh god, oh no, Scandal is happening. It's happening right now, and I just witnessed it. Oh shit. And he tries to ask him about it, but Hokuto keeps brushing him off, and he's like, it was just a special someone, but all of my little angels are special.
It's because he went to the Secco Boys live drawing thing.
Oh no! Hokuto's in MLM!
MLM!
He's in a pyramid scheme!
Yeah, he went to the Secco Boys thing.
Hokuto, oh no!
Yeah, you gotta get out of that. It's dangerous.
Illuminati, but oh no! Oh no. So they talk about the company a bit, and how apparently the president, their loud, obnoxious president, is still out there somewhere scouting new members. And then we cut to him just on, like, a speedboat in a storm, and he's like, ha ha ha, I'm gonna go get new idols. Where is he going? He's on a boat.
Oh, where are you?
Where is he going?
Oh no.
Yep. So we cut to the boys at practice. They are doing well, but they still need work. Jupiter has to duck out for a photo shoot, and they keep practicing even when they're on their break at the photo shoot. Hokuto visits the office to talk to the producer. He's like, hey, we need more practice time because Toma's getting antsy. And the producer's like, okay, it should be fine. The other boys are off on their own job. We get some bonding scenes. Apparently, Hokuto and Rui, the English teacher, went to college together, and that's how they know each other, which is very cute.
Oh, hey. Cute.
Yeah, they were, like, in the tennis club together or something, which I thought was really sweet. Because then that also tracks, because that's how they got Jupiter to perform at the school festival. Yeah, it's all connected. iDOL Illuminati confirmed. We learn a little bit more about the Jupiter boys. They just kind of talk to each other and talk about each other. The one big takeaway I took from this is, like, Shota's really goofy, but they do rely on him a lot, even though he's the goofy member. And then some of the dialogue suggests that Toma's kind of a perfectionist and he pushes himself really hard, even when he doesn't necessarily need to.
That tracks.
I just thought it was just kind of like a cute little character building episode.
Makes sense.
And then producer ends up going to the venue for their upcoming concert. Toma and Teru, our red lawyer boy, go with him. And we have a flashback to the producer talking to them before they were recruited, and how their fans support them because of how hard they work. The Jupiter boys are like, we want to support our fans because they support us, and we want to do our best. And that's episode 9. It's at this point, I'm just like, okay, this is all very cute. This is all very good. When's the drama gonna start?
No, you're going back to the drama side.
Well, listen, we can't have a 13-episode anime. It's gonna break bad at some point.
Especially if it's Idolmaster. But
we're not there yet. We actually get another High Joker episode.
Woohoo.
Which is cute. The teens. It's time for teens. So the boys are episode 10. We open on the K-On! Joker boys talking about their school festival, and they're super excited. And then the producer comes in. He's like, oh, sorry, you guys can't go and hang out at your school festival because we've booked a concert for you guys, which is performing at the school festival.
What?
And I'm like, does that count?
That works out.
Yep. And it turns out that this is going to be their first concert as idols.
Aww.
And Hayato wants to write a new song, but he's having trouble. Shiki, their singer, he's like, I can't write music, but I want to come up with ways to make it more exciting, but all the things he suggests are kind of impossible. He's like, I want lasers, I want the stage to move, etc., etc. And they're like, we can't really do that. And then word gets out about the fact that they are writing a new song, because apparently Shiki, try and get people hype, got people too hype, and now there's a bunch of rumors going around about how good it's gonna be. And Hayato is like, oh shit, there's a lot of pressure now. And he gets kind of nervous. And Jun, the serious one, kind of blows up at Shiki for getting too excited. And he's like, well, what happens if it sucks? Now it's like, stop being so certain that it's going to be awesome, because it might not be awesome. Which, on the one hand, I get. But on the other, it's kind of a dig at their songwriter.
I know.
It's like, what happens if it sucks? What happens if it goes really poorly? You're getting everybody's expectations up, and meanwhile Hayato, the songwriter's over in the corner like, I don't want it to suck, but thanks. So basically, there's just kind of some tension with these Joker boys. Shiki still is trying to find a way to help, even though he can't help with the music, so he ends up making just like this huge box of posters, and he's passing them out and trying to get like strangers to come to their school festival to see them perform. And then when Jun questions him about it, Shiki says, he's like, well, I'm sure that we'll do great. Even if you are kind of a butthole and you think that maybe it might not go well, I'm positive it'll go well because I love our band so much, and I think that you guys are all really awesome.
Aww.
It's cute. He loves his friends a lot, and it's really sweet.
Aw, it's sweet.
And then when Jun finds out that he's been handing out these posters by himself, he's like, okay, well, listen, we should all hand out these posters together. So then the rest of the boys convene, and they finish handing out the entire box of posters, and then they finish the new song, and they plan for their concert, and then they have their epilogue credits, which is the concert scene. A lot of times, like, the insert song concert scenes are just, like, some still images that, like, pan slightly to the left. But this one is actually fully animated, which is nice. And part of the things they do is they do, like, little member intros during one of the songs. And Jun, the serious one, intros Shiki. And he's like, and here's our most hypest member ever, Shiki, our singer. And Shiki listens to this. He's like, oh, you do like me.
Aww.
And it's very cute. They're good boys.
Good teens.
Good teens. And then I wrote in just a subtitle, apparently these guys as idols make all their own music, so I bet the production company likes them because they get to save a lot of money not having to hire a composer for them.
Yeah, and it seems like they're also still going to school, so they don't have to privately teach them either.
Nope.
Incredible.
These are our economical boys. These teens are gonna make us money and save us money simultaneously.
I mean, they need to save money when they are a brand new company and they already have 19 people.
Mm-hmm. There's so many boys.
So many.
And dads and teens.
So many boys, dads, and teens.
Yes. So, I mentioned drama. It is now time for that.
Dun dun.
But, plot twist, Sarah. The drama in this series is not main character has doubts about how good they are as an idol.
Mm-mm.
The basic premise of the drama in this series, which is actually extremely refreshing, is that serious character takes it too seriously and wants to be a workaholic because of his tragic backstory, and it causes friction within the company.
Dun dun.
Dun dun. And we'll get to my complicated feelings on that later, because I have some thoughts on this, but I gotta explain it first.
Mm-hmm.
So, we start with all the boys. They're on a live stream, and they are promoting their upcoming concert. And then back at the office, they are looking over their posters, checking out their merch. It's like, wow, the concert's coming up. I'm so excited. This is gonna be great. But then the next day, the Dramatic Stars boys are at the event, and it turns out that Kaoru has asked the producer that he says he wants to do some solo work in addition to his Dramatic Stars work with the other two boys.
Oh, so much work.
Yeah, and so you gotta work. So the other boys are like, oh, wow, that's really intense. But Teru's like, oh, well, I get it. You just want to get your name out there before the concert. That's cool. I'll do that too.
Mm-hmm.
And so now both of them are doing solo work on top of all of their other idol work. We then have a montage. Kaoru does like modeling and casting calls and a glasses commercial, and Teru's like on a game show. And then meanwhile, everyone else is prepping for the concert. And you start to see Teru get a little bit worn out.
Aw, poor Teru.
And then at some point they go out to dinner together, but Kaoru opts out because he's like, I've got another job to go to. And Tsubasa's kind of worried about him. This is the scene where they go out to dinner together, and Tsubasa only gets like 2 entrees, and Teru's like, oh god, something's wrong with him.
There's tension now.
There's tension. My boy's not eating his greens. At this point, we start to get hints of Kaoru's tragic backstory. We saw his dolphin necklace earlier, and now we're gonna see it again, and we're gonna learn what the dolphin necklace is about. Because you see, there is a picture of baby Kaoru and someone whose like face is kind of hidden by like a camera flare or something in a photo. And there's a girl wearing this necklace. And then we cut to Kaoru, who is also wearing this necklace. Oh, who's this mystery girl? I wonder if this could be his sad backstory. Oh, I bet she's dead.
Maybe.
He really liked that necklace, and he stole it from her in a crime of passion.
He just really wishes he was a dolphin, and that's why he's so sad.
Oh no, he just really wants to be a dolphin.
He just really wants to go swim in the ocean forever.
If you think about it, dolphins are the idols of the sea. Because they always do, like, shows at SeaWorld and shit.
And they can kill sharks, if they're mean enough.
I know that my favorite idols can kill their rivals.
Oh no!
And potential predators.
There you go, Apex Predator.
Takane Idolmaster had a gun that one time. That was a thing.
And Yohane Idolmaster is a shark, so oh no.
No, no!
Or not Idolmaster, Love Life. Yohane Love Life.
I just love the sentence, dolphins are the idols of the sea.
So majestic.
So majestic. They travel in groups. Arguably groups that are too large.
They sing.
Because I can't remember all of their names.
They sing. And they have the capability of killing their predators.
And they can jump really high.
The forbidden technique.
The forbidden technique! They can do flips! Sarah, we've solved it! Where's my dolphin-based idol anime?
Wait, wasn't one of the Love Lives and dolphin associated? Was that Kanan?
Kanan's character symbol is a dolphin.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. They all had their assigned sea animals.
Yeah. Well, they're not sea animals, they just have, like, symbols. Like,
right.
Ruby is, like, a piece of candy, Rico's is a piano, but Kanan's is a dolphin.
Yes. That's because she learned how to be an idol from the dolphins, the idols of the sea.
They taught her how to be an idol.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I see. I understand. Mm-hmm. Thank you, Sensei.
Thank you, Sensei.
And then they retreat back into the sea.
Exactly.
Hey, idol industry, get on that shit. I want dolphin idols on my desk by 9 a.m. on Monday.
So tell me about Kaoru. Why does he have dolphin necklace?
Okay, well, we're not going to find that out just yet.
Whoa.
We just see hints at the tragic backstory. So the next day, Kaoru gets dragged on a weekend onsen trip with the other two boys, because they're like, you've been working too hard and you need a break. And so they go on, like, this 2-day vacation, and Kaoru's just kind of annoyed, and he's like, I can't practice here. And producer's like, you guys gotta bond and become better friends before this concert. It's a business trip. Go relax.
It's like Sakura's mountain trip.
Yep, basically.
But less survival.
Less survival, more onsen bathhouse time. This is our bathhouse episode, by the way. So Teru and Tsubasa play around a lot, but Kaoru's just kind of grumpy the whole time. They go and they have like a very long scene in the bath where they're just discussing the concert. And Kaoru says, I don't care what we do as idols, just know that I'm going to do it perfectly. I am an idol for myself and no one else. And Tsubasa finally asks him why he wants to be an idol, and he says that I'm just in it for the money, and then leaves.
Dun dun.
Dun dun. It's like, okay, wow. So then when they get back to the office after this trip, it turns out that Kaoru got asked to be the lead in a musical. And he's very excited about it. But producer says, I had to turn it down because you wouldn't be able to make it to rehearsal along with prepping for the concert and everything else. And Kaoru gets super pissed about this. He's like, you're just turning down valuable opportunities for me without my permission? What the fuck? And the producer's like, you're going to work yourself into an early grave. I can't let you do this to yourself. And Kaoru is still super upset, and he ends up storming out. And he's like, you're just getting in my way. I don't need you. And he just storms out, and that's where we end the episode.
Uh-oh.
Dun, dun, dun.
Anger.
Episode 12. The penultimate episode.
Oh.
So we start out with Teru and Tsubasa. They're practicing by themselves. Producer talks to them, and it turns out that Kaoru has been coming to practice, but he leaves, like, immediately right after. And the producer's like, why did he leave? Where is he going? And the boys say, well, he said he had a job after this. And the producer's like, he didn't have any more jobs scheduled. Oh, god damn it. Turns out that Kaoru has started going to rehearsals for a drama without the producer's permission. He is not doing this as part of the company. He is, like, trying to freelance and be signed on to a contract, which is apparently a bad look.
Yeah, that's probably against their contract, so...
Probably, yeah. And so they're like, let's not make too big of a scene about it for now, but just, this is a problem that we need to figure out. Mm-hmm. The other boys confront him about it. He's like, I don't care what you say. And the other boys are like, you could get fired for doing this. And he's like, I don't care. He's just very frustrated at this point. Mm-hmm. We have another scene of them at practice. Kaoru's still grumpy. He's been avoiding producer. We get this long montage of him, like, going to drama practice between practice, like, for the concert. The concert's getting closer, and they're still having trouble, like, staying together when they're dancing. Mm-hmm. And Kaoru just seems, like, really worn out. You can tell that all this extra work has been, like, coming down on him really hard. But he still wants to keep pushing and keep practicing, but all the other boys are like, dude, you need to chill out. And Kaoru's like, but it's not perfect yet, so I can't chill. And then he storms out.
Uh-oh.
He's a very dramatic man, Dad.
A dramatic star.
He's
a very dramatic star.
The drama. So at this point, Teru finally asks the producer, he's like, hey, why is Kaoru so desperate for money? And producer's like, I technically know, but it's really not my place to say. There's a conversation between Teru and Toma, Jupiter boy and lawyer boy. Mm-hmm. Teru's like, I still want to support him. And then all the other boys are like, yeah, we do too. But he's gonna crash and burn, but we still need to, like, support him because he's one of us. Mm-hmm. And then at some point, Kaoru's drama wraps up. And then when Teru goes to congratulate him, Kaoru's like, what are you doing? And then he just fucking collapses onto the ground. And we go into flashback town.
These kids, these dads keep dying. These idols.
They're dropping like flies. So I want to focus on this flashback for a minute, and it's probably not why you think I want to focus on it. But let me just talk. We go into flashback town. So we see baby Kaoru, like an elementary schooler, and he's at the hospital with this mysterious girl we saw in the photograph earlier. We find out that she is his sister.
Oh.
And she is in the hospital for some reason. We see kind of a vague shot of, like, doctors rushing into her room, and then when Kaoru goes into the room, her bed is empty. So she presumably died, but it's a little unclear.
Is this Lost? He stars this
Something.
Lost?
You know, it's really unclear. So later, we skip ahead to Kaoru in college. Or maybe just, like, he's already a surgeon. It's a little unclear. He gets turned down for doing research on a quote-unquote very specific disease because it costs too much to use the equipment, and whoever he works for does not have the money.
That's fair.
So this is why he needs more money. And then, like, immediately after this, he gets scouted by the producer because he overhears him singing. And so the producer's like, hey, if, you are a really good singer. Do you want to be an idol? And he's like, will I get paid? And the producer's like, yeah. And so that's how he becomes an idol.
Oh, there you go.
But, Sarah, I need to talk about this for personal reasons. I wrote this.
Oh no, what did you do?
Sarah, this Kaoru's tragic backstory is literally almost identical to the tragic backstory of a character from my original webcomic that is no longer running.
Uh-oh, they stole it from you.
They stole it from me, my IP that never got released. It's like, I don't even care because there's enough, but basically, like, relative gets sick and dies, boy tries to find a cure, goes to med school, and can't do the research, but then there's, like, other tragic shit mixed in, and he end up, like, getting banished from where he lives, etc. But, like, this was the tragic backstory of one of the characters from my first webcomic.
What?
And so when this shit happened, I literally got chills, and I'm like, wait, are they doing this? Are they doing this right now? Oh my god! Whoa. I wrote this! And
you are the idol master!
I am the idol master. I saw it in a dream. But no, like, the characters' names even start with the same letter, and I'm like, fuck me, man.
Uh-oh.
I don't mind mildly spoiling my first webcomic, because, like, I'm never gonna finish that one. Mm-hmm. I stopped doing it because it was bad. But I had my shocked Pikachu moment when this happened, basically.
Incredible.
I was like, whoa, holy shit.
Good job, Star. I'm proud. I'm proud of you for writing the Idol Master SideM.
Thank you. I was a very important person in the writing of this series. I'm glad that my brilliance is finally getting recognized, etc.
Etc.
Yep. So, Kaoru wakes up in the hospital. He is worried that he's missing work, but he is told by their office assistant, he pops up several times. He's like the Kotori of this show, the Idolmaster Kotori, but he's just like their little office assistant. I think his name is Ken, but I did not write it down. Mm-hmm. And he's like, no, you're in the hospital. You need to rest for a few days. And Kaoru turns on the TV, and he sees the other two Dramatic Stars boys. They're like on a TV program doing an interview, and they're both wearing glasses. And Kaoru's like, oh no, that's cringy. And he turns it off.
Uh-oh.
He's like, oh no, this is awkward. I can't watch this. It was very cute, but also silly.
It's good. Good dads.
Yes, good dads. So at some point, the Dramatic Stars boys go to visit Kaoru in the hospital. And they're like, you need to rely on us more so that you don't push yourself so much. And they push him to work together more so that they can all succeed together because they share a goal and a destiny. Mm-hmm. And it's very dramatic.
Stars.
You've been waiting for your chance to do that this whole time, haven't you?
I'm really excited I got a chance.
I'm happy for you. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
I'm glad I could be part of this.
I really appreciate it.
But yeah, so the next day, he is released from the hospital. He shows up to the office and he apologizes to the producer for being a butthole. Mm-hmm. The other boys welcome him back and they immediately start to discuss how to practice to make up for lost time of him being in the hospital. He apologizes to the producer and the producer's like, I still want to keep working together. And after the concert, we can talk more about getting you some more like dramas and musicals and shit.
And also, I'm getting Teru to write up a lawsuit for you breaking your contract.
You will be sued.
You will be
Fair
sued.
warning. So, that is the end of the plot. Because the entirety of episode 13, the last episode, it's just the whole episode is a concert, basically.
Woohoo!
And it's very cute. So we have this short scene of the boys, and they all got their little idol unit costumes on, and the producer gives them a motivational speech. And so this is basically how this concert throws down. Hi, Joker. Our band boys are on first. And then while they're performing backstage, we see the other boys singing along. And it's so cute.
Aww.
Teacher boys, teacher dads, SEM is on next. They have laser guns. It's pretty great. Mm-hmm. Our soccer boys are up next. They rise up on a platform onto the stage and then kick soccer balls into the audience. And I feel like that shit's dangerous.
Especially if they were pro soccer players. Those things go fast.
They're gonna kill somebody.
Rip.
But I imagine, like, whichever fans got hit with those soccer balls, they just scream, "Thank you! Thank you, sirs, may I have another?"
Yeah.
It's like pitching the fastball into the audience, and you just try to catch it.
Yep.
But instead, you just get, like, smashed in the face with a soccer ball. And they're like, hell yeah.
I got
you
it.
See, I'm never washing this face again.
Never washing the blood off my clothes.
Yep. So next up is our Baito boys, and the most notable thing about this, the song is very cute, their uniforms are very cute, but the secret police are crying in the audience while holding Wotagay sticks, and it's very, very good.
Aww.
Mm-hmm. Next up is Jupiter. They have kind of a slower, more ballady song. It's very dramatic. We see a lot of girls in the audience crying. It's pretty fucking funny. And next up is Dramatic Stars. This is kind of like their season wrap-up song where, like, they go on, they start performing, and we have cut-ins of flashbacks of their tragic backstories with some cool monochrome effects. Mm. But also, Teru has his lawyer scarf tied on his wrist in his idol outfit, and it's so freaking cute.
It's so sweet. What a good boy.
Mm-hmm. And then it's time for the group number. It is the same scene as the flash forward we saw in the first episode. They do their big, like hype up call, which is like, "We are Psycho!" And it's really cute. Mm-hmm. And then they have their big dance number, their big group dance number with everybody to the OP, which is called Reason.
Yeah.
It is mostly 2D, with some 3D used on characters that are out of focus in the background. Mm-hmm. You can tell if you're looking for it, but the 3D characters are never in the spotlight, so it's not very noticeable, and I would not consider it super offensive, quote unquote. Mm-hmm. And a lot of the animation looks like it was repurposed from the opening, but they are wearing different outfits.
Gotcha.
So that's kind of interesting. And then there's some concert MC the boys take turn being cute at the audience and saying how they want to keep being idols and keep growing and keep doing good and it's awesome and yay, we're idoloos. And then we have a second closing song with the outfits from the opener. Sort of like the ending of original Idolmaster, it kind of takes place in this vague space with lots of glitter. We have flashbacks to all the previous episodes and kind of a look how far we've come setup. And then after the concert, we have a very, very brief Christmas episode. Because all the boys are just hanging out, having a Christmas party post-concert. This is more just like more little character vignettes, but it's cute. And then there's like a little side scene with all the Dramatic Stars boys talking about how they want to keep going and keep being top guidaroos. And then we get the credits, which is just like them doing more of that. And it's kind of like a look at what they're gonna go on and do. Go boys.
Go boys. And teens and dads.
Boys and teens and dads.
Boys and teens and dads.
Yay. And that's the end of SideM.
Aww.
That is Idolmaster SideM.
Yay, SideM.
Sarah? Now that we're done talking about this show, we need to have a talk about the elephant in the room.
Yes.
I feel like you and I have both been avoiding talking about this major flaw with this series the entire episode. The biggest and most egregious problem with this series. Where the fuck is season 2?
Right?
Why is it only one season? Every other Idolmaster anime gets 2 seasons, but the boys get shafted and only get 14 episodes? What the fuck? I want more boys! We only got to really explore half of them!
We need more!
What the fuck, Idolmaster? Namco! Bandai Namco, I know you can hear me. Release the 2nd season. Give me more of my lads.
More lads!
God damn it. And see, like, I feel like this was written to only be a single season. But why, though? I want more of my boys, though.
I know, more boys! We need them! What's gonna happen?
And I feel like it's just because Idolmaster as a franchise has been built from the ground up as a series that targets itself towards dudes. And so when they came out with their series that's more targeted at girls, they didn't really have that audience, and so it's just not as popular as their big moneymaker series, and so they just don't give it the same love because it doesn't make them the same amount of money.
Yeah, they didn't have
We love capitalism, am I right?
They didn't have that early edge on the competition like they did for the originals.
Yeah. Because, like, original Idolmaster's been running for, like, 16 years at this point. And then by the time SideM came out, there's already like Udapri and Idolish 7 and all these other guydol shows.
Or idols in general, yeah.
Yeah, just idol, like they kind of came out in the middle of the idol boom, and so there's a lot more competition than they don't naturally have that leg up. And so I feel like they just didn't allocate much of their budget to my boys. And I'm sad about it.
I know.
Because I want more of these boys. They're good boys.
So start, who's the best boy now that you've reviewed?
Oh, Sarah. I feel like you're not going to accept all of them as an answer.
I know. Well, what's one that you want to cosplay as? And what's one that you love? Okay,
well, if we're talking cosplay, none of their outfits especially strike me. Cosplay-wise, I really like Baito's outfits, like that subunit, because they're like blue with silver accents, and they've got like the princely little shoulder epaulettes, and they're really cute.
Yeah.
If I were to cosplay, those would probably be the most fun to make. But also, I really like Shiki's performance outfit, the singer of High Joker, because he's got like he wears flowers on his neck, and he's cute.
He's a good boy.
He was one of the ones that stuck out to me immediately when I'm looking at, like, a lineup of these boys, and I'm like, who's the flower child? I like him. Because, like, when you showed me the lineup of all the original Idolmaster characters, the first one that I liked visually was Hibiki, because I like ponytail girls. And so that's kind of the case with this one, is when I look at a lineup of these boys, the first one that sticks out to me is Shiki, because he's a little flower child, and I'm like, whomst is he?
Makes sense.
As far as cosplay, though, I'm not really sure.
A mystery. Well, you said you have a t-shirt. You could do Lawyer Tarot.
Let's just do casual dramatic stars.
There you go.
And I just want to make that outfit because it just says lawyer. It's just a big hoodie that just says lawyer on it. And
Incredible.
I'm like, I wonder what this man does for a living. It's fucking great. But, like, honestly, I really feel like Jiro is probably my favorite character.
Oh.
He just has this great energy in that he has no energy.
Sleepy dad.
Sleepy dad. And there's one scene where he's just like, they're all drinking together and he's just like laying on the floor of his apartment and he's got like this can of beer in his hand. He's just like sticking it up and he's like off camera and you just see this like his hand like holding his beer can and that's how he's like talking to people. He's bouncing this beer can around and I'm like, I've done that at parties before.
Incredible.
With like soda cans. He's like, I relate to this person on a spiritual level.
Incredible. I'm so happy, Star.
Mm-hmm. But then also, yes, Tsubasa is the leafy green installment of our show. Mm-hmm. He's going right in the salad bowl with the other good greenies.
All your greenies.
My greenies. You gotta eat your greens. Mm-hmm. But then also, yeah, Teru did make me cry in the first half of episode 1, just because he's such a good goddamn boy.
What a good dad.
He's a good dad. I love him.
Mm-hmm.
He's good. There's a lot of good boys here, but those are my top 3, I would say.
Thank you, Star.
Thank you. Sarah, you've watched this show. Who are your favorites?
I don't know.
Tell me about your boys.
I also really love Teru, but I feel like if I cosplayed, I'd want to do Pierre, the little prince.
Oh, Sarah, you should!
I feel like I've always been like, I could do a little prince outfit. The little prince.
Oh my gosh, Sarah, that would be so cute, though. You'd make a great Pierre.
Yeah, you know. The blonde one,
he's
just
a
like
baby.
me, because I'm half Asian.
Oh my god. Okay, well here, I'll be either Minori or Kyoji. You can be Pierre and we'll find somebody, maybe your wife, to do, your wife or like one of our other idol cosplay friends.
Yeah.
Because I know, like, some of your buds have cosplayed, iDOL 7 before. So yeah, they'd probably be down for it if we asked. We could get one of them to be, our third boy.
Oh, yes.
Our third wheel.
Yes.
And then we can be the cute little princely types.
Yep, and I can have a little Kermit.
Yeah, oh my god. I just realized I gave you an excuse to have a Kermit. No, it's buttermilk, but in real life. That is another reference to our D&D campaign. We ran a one-shot, and Sarah made a character who was a bard, and he was a ventriloquist, and he just walked around and made puns, and that's how he did his bard magic, and it was very painful. And he talks through a Kermit puppet. Yep. And, like, a hen puppet, and it was very painful for me to have to deal with.
It was incredible.
It was the worst thing I've ever experienced in my life.
So, Star, if people want to hear more about us and see our memes, where can they find us?
See our memes? All right. Well, we have a website that is idoldays.card.co. That's idoldays.carrd.co. That is our website. We have profiles about us. We've got the show information. We've got a list of episodes that updates every time a new episode goes up. We've got links to all the places you can listen to the show. We've got a link to our Discord channel, which is new and also very lively. We talked a lot about this show when I accidentally revealed that this was what we were going to be watching. We talk a lot about, like, stuff we do. It's just a good time. Come join us on our Discord. The link is on our website. And Sarah, if people want to follow us on social media, where can they find us?
You can find us on Instagram and Twitter at iDolDaysPod. That's at IDOLDAYSPOD.
Yeah, on both Twitter and Instagram. And also...
I bought a domain.
Oh, yeah, you talk about that first.
Oh, also, you can go to idolluminati.com or .net and get to our website.
Yes, between last episode and this episode, Sarah did go and buy the iDolluminati domain, so that redirects to our website also.
Ooh.
I can't believe you.
We mentioned it. I didn't want anyone to steal it under our feet.
That's fair. I mean, I don't think we have that big of an audience.
I'm just saying that the conspiracy of iDOLluminati is going to be sniffed up by the iDOL government, and it's going to get taken away by the iDOL government.
Yeah. But, speaking of the iDOLluminati, if you are like us and you value the truth and you want other people to know that you value the truth, you're an iDOLluminati truther and you want to wear that pride on your sleeve, or more accurately, on your chest, we made iDOLluminati t-shirts.
Star and I both have one in different colorways, and you can match us. You can be part of our iDOLluminati.
Yeah, so they're on my personal website. There's a link to the Idol Days section of my online store. It's thestarfishface.com is my online store. And we have a section for Idol Days. Right now it's just the t-shirt, but we might be adding more stuff in there later. But you can buy yourself an iDOLluminati shirt. It comes in a couple different colors. Sarah's got the pink one. I've got the blue one. It also comes in like black and navy, just because those are kind of like your classic shirt colors. But yeah, if you would also like to join the movement and be one of the iDOLluminati, you can buy that shirt. It's real cheap, so you should get it and then rep our podcast.
And then one last point of order. Our next episode is going to be a Christmas special. If you are hearing this before Christmas of this year, go ahead and send in your favorite iDOL Christmas songs or scenes or episodes, and we will fireside chat review them-ish.
Yeah, it's because it's the holidays and we are both very busy. We wanted to do something kind of chill, but still in the season. And also, as of yet, I don't think there is an entire IDOL anime Christmas themed that we can just watch and review. Maybe next year. But until then, it's gonna be kind of a chill episode. We're gonna talk about, like, different ways that Christmas is represented in IDOL shows, and it's gonna be a good time.
We're gonna hallucinate that snow.
And after that, I came up with a better hint for what we're watching afterwards.
Oh, yeah? What does it Star?
Yeah. You need to set your alarms, because our episodes that are going to start coming out in January, our first episode of the next year, you don't want to sleep through it, so you better set your alarms so that you wake up on time.
That's much better than mine, which was just going to be chop suey.
Why the fuck is that the hint?
Oh, you'll know if you know.
I don't know, and I've watched this show already. What do you know that I don't?
I'll explain later.
Sarah?
Not spoil it.
Okay, well, we're gonna hang up now, and you're gonna explain to me what that joke is about, because I genuinely don't know what she's talking about. Alright, well, this has been IDOL Days. Thanks for joining us.
We've been
Lady.
See you next live. Bye.
Bye. Hang on, I want to double check and make sure that Teru is the one who holds the phone, because I think Kaoru does too, and I don't want to get this mixed up. SideM. Teru. I'm just double checking. Yes, he does have a comically large cell phone.
Incredible.
It's so large. It's like a razor phone.
It's because he's a lawyer.
It's a lawyer. He needs that edgy blue phone.
He needs to have a lawyer phone.
It's a lawyer phone. It's so big because it's so full of lawyer secrets. That's why his phone's so big.